ambassador to your world. War is in your blood. I studied the art of war. There is no escape, escape, escape. There is no escape, escape. There is no escape. Open fire. Open fire. I should demonstrate my power. I found this whole experience to be very enlightening.
We both survived the purge. My troops betrayed me.
Around what we call the People's Guild, where every single one of us is free to play, and we are going through the game together. And so we went through Rancor raid, going through Hoth territory battles. So a lot of my content focuses around the early game because I'm garbage the late game. My main account is a mess and has been a constant cleanup project. But yeah, we have good memes and good times.
Love it. And Jack, tell us a little bit about your account. How long have you been streaming for? Okay. Nice. Goes for you asking, can you link their YouTubes on screen or chat? They're actually at the top of the description of this video, or they should be. If they aren't, let me know and I'll get that fixed. But they should be in the description of this video. A little low on the second. Yeah, I was up a bit. Of course, of course.
I just realized my mic's been
yeah,
up
let
on
me
my
know if you need me to
stream.
gain up or gain down or anything. I've got all that over here. So
I should be able to play with everyone's Discord volume here. Shouldn't be an issue.
Okay.
What's the button for the or not Ubisoft, the EA overlay to add friends and shit? Oh, sorry, I shouldn't curse, should I?
Try not to, just in
I
general.
will not. Yep.
Oh yikes!
Yep. That didn't take long.
Okay, Matt, can you speak really quick?
I can speak. I do know English. I know a small amount of Spanish, and outside of that, SOL.
Okay, and then Jack, speak really quick.
Test 1 2, testing 1 2, running to the command post. 1 2 3, 1 2 4.
I've got you as loud as I can, but you're still kind of quiet. Is there any way you can up your mic volume?
I can.
I've got you like 200% and everything.
Yep, I can make it louder.
Yeah, we're working on the mix, guys. Give it a second.
Okay, I actually don't know if I... Hold on. I'll get it sorted out.
I'll turn down the music just a bit. Have a great day, Caleb.
So the boost is... There might be a little more static, but I can... Nope. I am max boosted. Wow.
Okay. Can you just pull your mic a little
I'll
closer?
talk louder. It's a boom mic behind a monitor. But I can potentially... I'll just endeavor to talk a lot louder throughout the whole stream, if that is better at all.
Yeah, like that volume right there.
Yeah, as long as I'm talking toward my microphone and loudly, should be okay. Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay, sweet. We're going to have to get you guys in here real quick.
My mic is a stage mic that I think I might have stolen at some point.
Might have stolen.
Well, actually, I think
those are the best kind of mics.
And then I stole it from my dad. So, 1T and Matt.
Huh?
If I don't know how much your stream is delayed.
It shouldn't be all delayed almost at all. What's the username?
It's 1T in Matt, so it's Matt Master 112.
Got nothing.
It's because you
Oh,
have
is it?
two T's in Matt.
Is it just one? Okay.
Yeah. It's a vacuum cleaner brand.
I
Oh,
sent you a request
interesting.
on my end.
Okay, yep, I see it. Okay, I sent you a request, Matt.
Hopefully it lets us form a lobby, because I've had issues in the past where it won't even let you play the lobby. Because Origin still doesn't know how to make multiplayer games.
Fair. EA has a lot of work they need to put in. Talking louder is good volume.
Okay, that's fine then.
That's how you
Yeah, I
do
think
it.
it was. I think I was turning my head like toward my Streamlabs monitor, and so I was talking away from my mic. So that was my fault.
Do you get the thing, Matt?
I'm trying to pull up the EA app, but it doesn't want to launch because it's not showing up in game at all.
Weird.
Is there a social screen in game?
Yeah, do Shift F1 and open up the overlay.
There you go.
He's smarter than I am.
That's what I was asking about earlier when I accidentally cursed like 10 seconds into being on here.
Makes sense, Knights of Knee. Also, I love your name. It's been a while since I've seen you. Welcome back.
We're the Knights of Knee.
For the Knights of
we Knights who say knee.
Tang.
Yeah, I have to task manager EA all the time, and it's so annoying.
Yeah.
Game. It is a pain in the butt. And like you open up Battlefront 2 and it does the whole like, oh, can't connect to servers, and you just have to spam click connect until it works. Okay, what are you guys feeling? You want to warm up with some co-op? You want to jump right into multiplayer, see if we can find a match?
I'm good to go straight into Supremacy or something like that, yeah. Fine by me.
Okay.
I'm an expert professional gamer, so I'm down to do whatever.
I've got a high bar set for myself to do decent today. I was the captain of a collegiate Counter-Strike team, so first-person shooters are kind of my bread and butter.
I think I've played this game for a total of about 4 hours, so...
I don't know how many hours. I don't have a ton, yeah.
I've played this game quite a bit overall, but, you know.
I'm coming off a broken finger, too, so I'm a little sketchy, but maybe it'll be fine.
One, or is it just...
left ring finger, so moving left.
Confirmed.
See,
Jack
if you
plays
just
with his
constantly
toes.
move right, then you'll be fine.
Exactly.
We demand a shrubbery or a roster review. Oh, that's great. Oh, we're getting stomped.
Yeah, that's why there was open spots in this game. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see the lobby's full though. I wasn't sure how many people still played.
Yeah, usually you don't get like something that fast.
I guess it is kind of like peak weekend, evening, afternoon. So
yeah, that's true.
Guess that helps.
True. And it actually might be they do triple XP weekends every couple of weeks.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I can hear Yoda. Leave me alone.
Yeah, he just...
Oh yeah, he's right in front of me. Someone concussed him.
I hit him with a bomb. He's almost dead. I got him.
He's dead. Yeah.
Oh, perks of using explosive bullets. So, I want to talk about...
Oh, there's Anakin now.
A little bit about one of my favorite topics, which is, what is your earliest Star Wars memories?
So, does it need to be, like, Star Wars content related, or just anything Star Wars?
It could be, like, playing with lightsabers.
Okay,
like
that's what I was going to say.
I'll give you an example. My earliest Star Wars memory that I can remember is I was in my living room, and if I'm doing my math correctly, because I can't actually recall when this is or anything because I was so young, but if I understand the timeline of where my family was during the times, I would have been 1.5, maybe 2 during this time. And I remember sitting on my couch in my living room and my brother going into the bathroom and coming out in Darth Maul with makeup.
That's awesome.
Earliest Star Wars memory.
And how old was your brother when that happened?
He would have been 6, maybe 7.
I gotcha. So are you like late 20s then? A little bit younger? I'm not sure how old you are.
26.
Okay, I'm 25, so it's basically the same.
Wow, am I the baby here?
Sounds that way.
I'm 24, so I'm not like that.
Oh,
much
okay,
younger,
we're all within a couple of years.
Yeah, we're all within a
But
couple.
yeah.
Years. Dude,
How you
I'm
bored-
so lost in my abilities. Holy shiz.
But yeah, my first memories, and they're not even they're almost not even my memories. They're videos from my parents when I was a kid, where me and my brother, I have a twin brother, beating each other with lightsabers, just relentlessly hacking each other.
I love that.
My earliest memory is going to see Revenge of the Sith in theaters and being upset that my dad was dragging me to a movie at midnight. And back when midnight premieres were actually at midnight.
Yeah.
And then I fell asleep during it. I think I fell asleep. Let's see. I fell asleep very early into the movie, and then when Palpatine screams "unlimited power," I woke up in a fright and was scared of Palpatine for like years after that.
That is
I love
quite the
that.
thing to wake up to. Honestly, I think I want to wake up to Palpatine screaming unlimited power every morning.
I
It's
actually
now
have
my
that as my
alarm.
alarm clock every morning. Yeah.
If you're not using Palpatine to gas you up in the morning, are you really trying?
Yeah. So watching Star Wars Episode 3 was, I was 8 years old at the time. I was a sadistic 8-year-old. So I watched it a little early because my grandma brought home a pirated copy from China, which I still happen to
Grandma?
have.
Nice.
Right? You watch the sequence on Mustafar where Obi-Wan pulls out his lightsaber and goes, "I'll do what I must," and he's cut off from like the nose upwards. And
Oh
it's
no.
hilarious.
That's what I was about to ask. So was it like, was the wording messed up too, or just like some visuals?
Just the visuals, like it was filmed
Funny.
on like a hand camera.
So you basically got like an audio book
quality
of
wasn't
Revenge of the
great.
Sith a little early. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, essentially. So it was
That's cool.
it was a lot of fun to watch it. But I watched the scene where Anakin is burning, and I was like hysterically laughing.
Oh
the
my
entire
god.
time.
You're like, oh, this is hilarious.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
when Revenge of the Sith came out, my parents went to go see it because they weren't sure if it was going to be appropriate enough for me and my brother to see it because we were 7. And so they watched it once and then did bring me and my brother back, but they pulled us out of the theater just before Anakin got sent in the lava. So we had to watch that later because my parents were a little concerned about that.
That's.
went with
I mean,
all
I
my
feel like that's fair.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of older siblings, so my parents were like, "Oh yeah, it'll be fine. They can see it, so therefore he can see it."
Yeah. It's funny.
Oh, and
Commando
I'm dead.
droid.
Oh, nice.
He had the high ground. Not much I can do there.
Yeah.
It's interesting that we're not like on the same squad at all.
Yeah, how did that happen? Maybe it'll
I have no
fix
idea.
itself in like a next game. I don't know if it... Maybe the squads were all so full it wouldn't like make a new one because we joined in the middle of the
DICE
game.
has never been good about that. I've
Yeah.
never understood it. Like all of their like Battlefront.
Well, at least in the battlefields, you could like make a new squad, so it wasn't that big of a deal if you got left out. You just make a new one with your friends or whatever. But I don't think you can do that in this game.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think it is how it is.
And I'm so sorry about the Malgus versus Riva. I think I'm like 4 and
Dude.
5 on that battle, dude.
Like I looked at the data and it was like, yeah, using Malik and Marauder is 100% win rate with 13 battles. I was like, that looks
Yeah.
pretty dang good. And then it was just immediately Marauder.
Yeah,
dies.
I think
I'm
the
like,
only
oh.
one I lost, it was like 200% armor pen on Riva, and it was just solo Riva left. I just couldn't kill Riva by herself, and I just had the easy little bounty hunter cleanup, But not so much when there's still like another character there with him. It's kind of a pain to clean.
Yeah.
So that was unfortunate. But I'm glad you cleaned it up. I missed that Darth Revan battle, so that was funny that you pulled that back up. I didn't catch that when it happened.
There is a frickin' I almost said JMK. There is a Kenobi sitting like right outside.
He is wearing the JMK outfit after all. Yeah, I played this game a little bit yesterday to be like, all right, let me make sure my controls and audio are good. And man, the people that still play this game are not bad.
I downloaded it earlier today.
Yeah, I play it occasionally with a buddy of mine.
I
We'll just
gotcha.
hop in and play a game or two. It's Kenobi versus Maul. No, it's Kenobi getting absolutely destroyed by Maul. Or Maul getting absolutely destroyed by Kenobi and Yoda.
I need to turn off the chat.
Yeah,
and...
their Yoda didn't die like once, I don't think.
Besides that first time when I killed him
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
outside. Yeah, there he is, top of the
Yeah.
scoreboard.
Okay, do we have to
So-
all hit matchmake?
No, it should just
Okay.
automatically do it if one of us does it. So you guys have told me what your earliest Star Wars memory is. Tell me, when was the point where you're like, I'm in Star Wars? Do you remember that? Like, where you're like, oh yes, I want to watch this. Because like for me, it was too early for me to really remember. The first two memories is that first one, and the second one was coming home to my dad's house, being dropped off by my mom. So this would have been like literally a couple months after that, and I came home and I was watching Duel of Fates on screen. Like it just got me VHS. It had just come out, and so it was a scene with where it's like zoomed out and you can see them like fighting on the bridge down below. And I remember thinking it was so cool and sitting there and watching the rest of the movie. And like that was the moment where I was like, yeah, this is something I like, and this is the best I can do for like memories of liking Star Wars and wanting to be in it. But like, I'm curious about you guys.
Yeah, so I think mine's honestly relatively similar. So my mom absolutely loved Star Wars, saw it when it first premiered and everything when she was a kid. So she was obsessed with it. Brought me and my brother about as early as we could into being obsessed with it. Going to Books A Million or Barnes and Noble and looking at comic books or like Clone Wars comic books or graphic novels, and then eventually when the Clone Wars TV show started airing on Cartoon Network and stuff like that, just getting fully engrossed into the universe.
Yeah, we were at it was some kind of summer camp when all of those ones aired for the 2003 Clone Wars.
Oh, I was talking about the later one too, like the Cartoon Network, like starting with was it Ambush is the name of the first episode, right? With Yoda and the clones.
The other one's also done by Cartoon Network.
Oh yeah, see that was a little before. I was a little too young for that one, I think.
Clone Wars and the Clone Wars.
You're right. Yeah.
The 2D 2003
That's funny.
Clone Wars. So I was at a summer camp and my dad like recorded it on a tape for us.
That's cool.
Like ran home from work on his lunch break to record them for us.
See, my dad doesn't like Star Wars. My mom's obsessed though, so it's completely flipped for me.
Yeah, I feel like for me. Sorry, go ahead.
My mom is just indifferent. Like she'll watch the movies and everything, but she's just like it's just another movie.
Yeah.
My dad was a Star Wars fan like since he was a kid because when he was a kid he was a military kid, so he was like on bases all the time, and so he snuck onto the military base, which was a common thing at that time, and went to go see the original Star Wars in theaters for 25 cents, and so he was a Star Wars fan since A New Hope, which wasn't even A New Hope. And so for me, it's just like I was born into it. I swear, like I got forced to go to Revenge of the Sith, and I was terrified of it.
Yeah, like there's not a point that I remember, like
not caring about Star Wars or something.
Yeah, and like finding out that like Darth Vader and Luke aren't father and son. I don't remember a time where I didn't know that fact.
Yeah,
like it's just kind of always been true.
Yeah, I'm excited for when. So I'm married. I'm excited for when eventually like I'm able to show kids. I know, right?
Oh, gross! I can't have either of you in this stream.
I'm excited to eventually be able to show kids, stuff like that. Let them experience Star Wars stuff for the first time. That's going to be a big highlight, I think.
Oh yeah, I definitely think sharing it with other people is like one of the best parts of anything really that you're passionate about.
Right.
And so I'm always excited when I can introduce someone to Star Wars. Like my roommate has watched Star Wars, but he wasn't super into it. Like he had never watched anything else because he never really had anyone to watch it with. And so when he got to where we're living now and we started living together, he and I watched through like all of Clone Wars, all of Rebels, all of basically everything.
Oh, wow.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, I did that with my wife because she hadn't seen the movie, but she hadn't really seen any of the like TV series, so like Clone Wars or anything.
Yeah.
And going through Clone Wars and Rebels and Mandalorian, all of that together was so much fun.
Yeah, I did the same with my wife. Yeah.
I'm almost envious at times just because they get like one cohesive story because you're binging it with them. And so like it almost felt like some of the sequences hit harder for him than for me, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, especially like, man, I don't know if I would do chronological or release order for like some, but man, I would love to like see someone go from like Episode 3 into Rogue One into A New Hope. I would love to see that like transition. for someone that's never
Yeah.
seen it.
There was a really interesting conversation we had in chat a couple months back where a person came in. They're like, "Hey, my buddy is giving me one chance to introduce them to Star Wars, and they'll give me one movie, and they're not a big fan of movies. And what movie should we start with if we were trying to get them into Star Wars?" And like, I was thinking about it, and we came to the conclusion that Rogue One would actually be the best place to start.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, not because it's, you know, the best place to start if you're watching the whole show, but rather it's the best movie where it's like it fits with the current way that people watch movies. You know, it has good,
just a lot more
solid
modern,
story
the
that's, like,
pacing and everything.
Yeah, it's good regardless of whether or not you know what's happening.
I feel like I would pick Empire Strikes Back for that.
Because
it ends on a cliffhanger too, so you're convincing your friend to like want more. You know?
I just think they'd be really confused if you threw them into Empire, not knowing any of the characters
that's the main
and
problem
stuff.
that I have. Like, I think Empire is definitely the best Star Wars movie in my opinion, but like throwing someone into it, they don't have any of the context of Episode 4, and so it's a lot of characters they don't know, and they have to like kind of learn on the fly.
I think you don't need that context to enjoy Empire. I don't know. I'd have to like watch it with that lens in my mind.
We'll do a study. We'll grab a random set of people.
Yeah, we need to kidnap toddlers off the side of the road and just force them to only watch Empire Strikes Back and see the responses.
The way that I look at it, you know, we're just trying to follow the ways of the Jedi, you know.
Exactly. If the Jedi can kidnap kids, why can't we? That's a joke, YouTube. That is a joke.
I swear it's a joke. I'm not a Minecraft YouTuber.
Oh God. Oh no.
Dude, too real, too real.
Oh, sorry, I'm wiping the tears out of my eyes.
Real quick, what other topics can we bring up?
I mean, we don't even have to get canceled. We can just start a fight in the chat.
True. So hey, if we want to start a fight in the chat, I know exactly what to bring up. I won't do it, but I know exactly what to bring up.
Talking about experiencing Star Wars with other people, that's what's made me appreciate the sequels actually more. And I'm not gonna like, speaking of starting a fight too, I'm not gonna like sit here and try to tell you the sequels are the best films, but like I used to hate on them a lot, and I've done that less over time because my niece watched them, and my niece just like loves the sequels, and I remember sitting and watching those movies with her and like watching her enjoy it, and I'm like, you know, I don't really love these movies, but like this is something that is bringing people together and giving Star Wars to a new generation. So I really can't hate on it as much as I used to.
Yeah, I think it takes the same vein that like the Clone Wars and like the prequels had for like our generation, to where the people who grew up with the original trilogy are like, oh, this is terrible. They didn't like it. But then our generation grew up with Clone Wars and then started that getting expanded on. So I think there will be a generation I think that grows up with the sequels, and that those, you know, that Rey and Finn and Poe are their heroes instead of Anakin and Obi-Wan.
And I think that, you know, that's why I've always said when I talked about like a Star Wars tier list and that kind of thing, like I can accept basically anyone's opinion except for the fact that you think Episode 9 is the best Star Wars movie. I can accept almost any.
I gotta edit my tier list 1 second.
Because like you know, I talked to my brother, for instance. Huh?
Some people unironically think that.
Yeah, I know, and it bugs me. But it's one of the things that that one I can't get over. But like I know for a fact, like the majority of people my age think that Star Wars Episode 3 is the best Star Wars movie, and I can get why. Like we grew up with it. It has some of the most stunning visuals. It has some really good stuff, but it's definitely not the best objectively, and it's not my favorite. But I can understand why someone would say that. I can even understand my brother, who says that Star Wars Episode 2 is the best Star Wars movie.
That is interesting.
Very much disagree with, because Episode 2 is a flaming mess of spectacle followed.
The first half's nice and the last half's nice, and the middle is what the hell? Is hell does not count, correct?
Technically yes.
Alright, I won't say that one either. I'm so sorry.
The only word that is not counted as a swear word is damn, which makes it really fortunate for the
Yeah, but I'd say that's quite convenient.
That's pretty funny.
Like, I literally looked it up to see how bad it would be if I started using that as a pun for my channel, and it was like, oh, this is not counted as a swear word. I was like, oh, dude, heck yeah.
There's a Yoda here that's going to kill me.
Oh, hi, Goodbye. Yoda. There's also a person in chat, when we were talking about kidnapping children, that said, hey, it's not kidnapping if we tell the parents.
True, we don't have to get their permission. We just have to tell them. Hey,
Yeah.
Brain.
Oh gosh.
But then they can't
Cancel
talk to them again.
No, you guys are not allowed to start that hashtag. Cancel Beaver is not a hashtag we get to start.
It's fine. They would think it's
Also-
something else.
It's
I think we
already
should
started.
Cancel
so.
beavers.
True, honestly.
They're
I mean,
taking all of our
what are they
work.
doing? Yeah, blocking
Yeah.
waterways and stuff? Like, come on. It's not important at all.
I don't like that. Yoda was just running around with his lightsaber off just to make it so that way people couldn't see him.
I don't even know how to turn the lightsaber off.
What about hashtag cancel Beaver really quick? No, hold on. How about hashtag canclay Beaver real quick?
And play ever. What? Am I
It-
dumb?
It's cancel, but
Oh.
the L and the E are mixed around, and Beaver, but without the A.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know.
The mysteries of YouTube chat.
Hashtag build the dam. There we go. I can get
There,
behind that.
yeah.
They
Now
already
we're
tried on Reddit because there's quite a big following of like a Nooch hate group on Reddit.
I've never
Really?
understood that.
Yeah, it's wild how much hate he has on Reddit.
Let's do
and
a.
so-
We'll go YouTuber tier list. All right, everybody
Oh,
say your
God.
F tiers.
Let's start with you after. Well, there's this guy named Jack and this guy named Matt, and like.
Ugh.
But no,
You're wrong.
like Nooch isn't my favorite Swigo streamer, but I like the guy and he's a solid dude. But like, there's so much hate on Reddit, and so like as a joke, someone tried to start a hate Beaver subreddit, and like no one posted whatsoever.
That's for the best.
Boys, I'm gonna be restarting the Hate Beaver subreddit. If you want to go give it a follow or.
I'm gonna report it against Reddit Terms of Service. Got him. I don't actually know. Are you allowed to have hate somebody in your sub? Is that even allowed?
I doubt it. Also, I have dyslexia. Dude, okay, side story, ADHD getting to me. The guy who taught me sign language was dyslexic. Which is hilarious
That's
if you know anything
interesting.
about sign language.
Yeah.
Because there's words that aren't in sign language, and so you finger spell them. And so you have to spell them out. And so the guy couldn't finger spell, but he knew sign language. And so commonly when we would be talking to people, he would have me finger spell for
That
him.
is
and I wouldn't have any idea
not
what's
seem
going
like
on
the
in the
right
conversation.
career to go into.
Right.
I think it's more of a if he can do it or she, I don't know, can do it, then anyone can. You know, it's inspirational,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, there you go. He also had like only 30% of the use of his arm, and he did sign language. So
All right, now he's just showing off. I mean, at this point, like, oh,
yeah,
goodness.
he in high school I think got cancer, and so they cut out like
Well, now I feel bad.
a good like half of his bone that leads into your shoulder, as well as the ball in the socket, and replaced it all with metal. And so like the ligaments and the muscles, they attached it with someone else's ligaments to get rid of all the cancerous cells that was like dead, and like yeah, it was just wild.
Well, that was not on my bingo card for today's stream. Wow.
Huh?
I said that was not on my bingo card for today's stream.
Dude, I have 1,000,001 random stories. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
That's what makes you a good streamer. Is when you have 1,000,001 random stories.
You were a sign language interpreter for someone who signed. I'm impressed. Yeah, basically.
Oh dear.
Dude, that was his strat to make you remember better. No, his strat was after I got a basis down, he stopped signing entirely and let me do everything. Which sucked because
Kinda
I
sounds like you
been
were free
learning for
labor.
about 4 weeks.
So what do you guys think of the new raid? I
You're
don't
not
know if
primarily
either of
English?
you made...
What's your primary language? Sorry, what were you saying?
I was saying, what do you guys think of the new raid so far? Where we live on that?
I like indoor better.
I like the idea. I think we were pampered by the Endor raid and how quick we could get through it and how much we could auto it. And I like the idea of the raid. I think the mechanics are cool, but the barrier to entry is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see that they're looking at that too for those lower relic levels.
On my so on my free to play, we're doing normal Sith raid. We're getting close to being able to clear heroic Sith raid. But we're doing normal right now, and most times I have to do 5 attempts on 3 separate days. I spend less time doing the normal Sith raid than I do the Naboo raid, even though I'm doing it 3 days and 5 attempts.
Oh. And how big is your main account, Matt?
Gracious.
My main account is 6.5 million, I think.
Okay.
Something like that.
Gotcha. As a guild leader, I definitely I can't word. I feel very bad for trying to get working through those new raid tiers, because that was not something I dealt with. Like when I founded the guild I'm in now, like CPIT was the thing. So we were just barely past, like we were still in that like HSTR, HAAT era. But now like trying to work through all those raid tiers with the goalposts and moving that often feels really painful.
Well, so the nice thing is that once you clear heroic Sith raid, you can go to create Endor or Naboo.
Okay.
You open up all 3. And so our plan is actually to go to Speederbike, to go to Endor, because we will get more rewards.
Yeah, Endor is wildly easy. Like even pre-level 85, like level 70, I was able to get about 500k score every single time. Because it doesn't require 7-star characters. Like, I feel like they should just open all the raids immediately at this point, because it just makes sense.
What I've said a lot, and I really wish they would do this, I don't think they're going to, and I think I even made a Reddit post to this effect at one point, was to do raid seasons. So if they wanted to keep this like featured raid thing, do like, okay, we're going to have 2 months of the Naboo being the feature raid, and then the next month it's Crate, and then the next month it's Endor, and then cycle back 2 months of Naboo, and then 1 month, 1 month, 2 months.
You could even have like revolving features that are around. So like kind of like how we have like the Sith Allies Assist when a Separatist in the lead uses a special ability. Like have different things like that come in each season to make it so that way you can go back to the Rancor raid and it doesn't feel like it's the same thing. Or you can come back to Naboo and there's different factors kind of modifying it.
Right. It feels like they could go very like Conquest or Day. I know I'm blinded. I got flashbanged. It feels very like Conquest feat of it, or like Datacron of it, where you can just kind of infinitely iterate through all. Oh, Galactic Challenge is probably the best way to compare it. Like you just kind of, it's the same teams a lot, but it's just different modifiers, and that changes the gameplay.
Yeah, but my only problem with that is if they start restricting characters. Like, because especially in the early game, I have guys that went Executor, right? So they have Imperial Troopers, they have some Bounty Hunters, like raids that would use those characters, they do great in. But if you had anything with Galactic Republic, like the Naboo raid, they are going to do absolutely 0 in, because they have not built Galactic Republic in the slightest. Because their accounts are still pretty early. And then I have people on the exact opposite spectrum where they went for like Lord Vader rushes or something, and so they have a bunch of Galactic Republic, but never built up Imperial Troopers at all.
Right.
Perchance. Hey Yoda. Perchance. What about having 2 raids be essentially featured, right? And what I mean by that, just killed Yoda. Nice. What I mean by that is you have the main raid that's featured. So, for instance, right now would be the Naboo raid. And that would give you full, and then all of your rewards for Mark III are halved in the Endor raid, and so that way you can take the lower of the 2 if that's what you have built, and that way you'd only have to build for every other raid.
The only reason I think that's a great idea. The only reason I didn't mention that is because I'm trying to play like devil's advocate on the CG end of things, which is like
they're gonna want to make money.
They want to make money,
raid, which I get.
And the only reason I think they would make more money off doing raid seasons too is that why would I get the Omicron for all these raid characters if it's going to be gone in 3 months? Why would I relic my Tuskens for Crate if it's going to be gone? But if they make it rotate, then at least that investment A gets respected, and B, I have a reason to do it. So I feel like they would make more money just making it like a longer time frame of a feature and then rotating to the old stuff. And maybe they will, once we get more raids in the game. But this system doesn't really incentivize like mid-tier guilds to like take those higher relic levels and stuff, because by the time you get there, it's gone.
What would you consider a mid-tier guild? Out of curiosity?
Anything from 200 to 400k.
Okay, because like my
about
guild's, you mean million, right?
Yeah, sorry. yeah, 200k. Wow, it's a mid-tier guild. Sorry, go ahead.
Because my guild on my main account, we have a pretty good officer team. I don't like to give them too much credit because one of them's always in my YouTube chat talking stuff. But they kind of prepped us well and kind of had some requirements and suggestions, strong suggestions before the raid started to help get everybody better rewards. So we actually didn't drop crates at all on my main account, which is great. But I know that not a lot of people had that foresight, and also, like, it wasn't. I don't feel like you should have to do that much prep.
Yeah, and I think part of the difficulty is that like we didn't really know how good everything was going to be going in versus like indoor. All the characters have the same abilities. Like it's pretty much just get these characters at the relic level versus we're like, okay, we think Luminar is going to be good. We think Kit's going to be good, but it was hard to say before it came out. So it was a lot of like people waiting to see.
Spot on. Not to give myself too much credit, but I made a spreadsheet beforehand, and my predictions were like pretty spot on. I was like looking at it the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, I got like within a few 100,000 of what most of these teams are doing.
Nice. Yeah, and I was optimistic about it. I just hesitate, at least as a guild leader, I hesitate to like go and tell everyone, okay, everyone, you guys should start doing this until we've like seen it.
Well, we have some.
Sorry,
I'll say we have quite a few dolphins in our guild, so we I won't say most of us, but a lot of us got the Jedi out or
the Lightspeed bundle for the raid.
Lightspeed bundle, yeah. And so that helps a lot. I mean, that's a lot of 1.2 million that we're putting out that we would not be otherwise.
Yeah, I think so. Sorry, Beaver, go ahead.
One of the most annoying parts about this raid specifically is the fact that it feels bad to farm it. Like at least with like the Crate Dragon raid, you could do Jedi Knight Revan. Jedi Knight Revan's an excellent team to get up. It doesn't feel bad to farm it. You could get a BAM Scoundrel team going, and it wouldn't feel bad to farm it. Tusken Raiders at least have uses, right? Like, but like this raid, it's like
there was a lot of overlap with farms and just good teams versus we just don't have a lot of that here, except maybe the Master Qui-Gon Padawan and stuff.
Yeah, and even then, like, you farm up Master Qui-Gon and Padawan Obi, and you're like, what do I put him with? Like, even Kelleran Beck sucks completely in this raid.
Yeah.
New character. Why is it that, like, Luminara and Kit Fisto are good, but you know, these characters that are new are garbage unless you have, like, a very specific team.
Yeah. And so just for reference, so my guild was getting it was 203 mil speeder bike box. I think that was the threshold, and we're currently getting the 67 mil box, which we need to get to the 90 something mil box to get the same reward. So we're like 2 boxes down ish. But once the Jar Jar event comes back, we have 10 people getting Jar Jar, so that should close quickly. That's where we landed, because as a guild, we don't require anything, so we don't ever require farms. It's only suggestions. And so when new things shift, it oftentimes does change it. But that's just been my philosophy as a guild leader. Has always been, I'm never going to dictate how someone should play. I'll always encourage it, but I don't want to ever force anyone to do anything.
Yeah, the only times that there's guilds that have requirements and that I think do it really, really well. And those are the guilds that it's a push from the general membership versus a push from the membership, which is true of anything when it comes to leadership in general. It should also always be something where you inspire those below you to want to go for something and then work together for it. And so, like, if you can find a guild that's like they want to push together to get Reva, it's like one of the you'll get Reva faster than almost any other guild.
Yeah, and I think like when we go into TB, we're like platooning stuff. We'll put out a ping. We're like, okay, we're gonna get this op done. Here's the 3 characters we need. We'll put out a ping, and within a week, we'll have either people who have claimed those units that they're doing them or already done. It's like we have tons of people who are super eager to help out without us having to be like, you're gonna gear this character for the guild without having to go and assign it to people. So that's always
That
been
is
a really fun thing.
A good point, rule of two, and I think that kind of sums it up fairly well. Either they're insanely high Chirotech characters for the new raid, or they're garbage characters, and there's no in between. So
Or
either
they're
you're
losing
screwed if you farm them, or you screwed if you don't farm them.
I
Yeah.
would say the exception to that is Separatists.
Yeah, Separatists
Yeah, I
is the
guess it's
only
fair,
ones
yeah.
that kind of feel good. Because like at least, you know, the Sith are, you know, the C and okay, so here's the thing. I'm about to
I got booted from the
make
game.
this video for a while now, actually. Because I've been seeing a lot of guilds requiring Gungans, and they're like guilds that are like 200 million GP, and I'm like, you can't do that.
You're gonna
and
lose
so
a lot of people.
Thank you for the sub, Alex
like,
Bosch. I
I'll
did see it,
people
just
who are
didn't want to
like,
interrupt
they're
him.
fresh out of Lightspeed bundles, and they're going for Inquisitors, then Gungans, and
Dude,
then
that's such a
JKCK,
bad
and I'm
idea.
like, dude, your guild cannot require those things in a row. Like, you cannot
Right,
do that
yeah.
kind of thing, especially because the Gungans, like, by the time you get to the Gungans, the raid's gonna be gone.
Yeah, I've
And
seen a
so,
ton of
like,
that of people saying, "Oh, I'm going for Inquisitors," and it's like you just bought all the Lightspeed bundles. You have a billion things to work on before
Right.
Inquisitors should be crossing your mind.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna make a video about it and kind of talk about the raid a bit. And I think the two best teams you can possibly go for just regular going for teams is going to be Separatists with the Sith at Gear 12, and then going for a team of Gear 12 Jedi with Luminara. And yes, you have to drop the Zeta, but then you get all of the good Jedi. So you get like Jimmy, you get JMY, you get Mace Windu. So you get all the Jedi that are like actually viable for things.
Yeah, and have requirements elsewhere too.
Yeah. Because like pushing this hard on a raid, especially for those who are like they're requiring Gungans and the people weren't really pushing for energy farms, whether that they were going for a GL or what, and so they didn't get really much of the additive drops for the Gungans. It's gonna take them, 6 months to farm up Gungans, which is 6 months into the raid, and by then you'll have 2 months before the raid's over.
And that's if the event even lines up well too. That's what feels bad too. Indoor, at least Leia was in the journey guide, right? This we have to wait 90 days between Jar Jar events. I think the event's only going to come back, 3-4 times before the raid even is just gone.
Oh,
yeah.
I want to come back to that point because I want to talk about other events that need to just be permanent. But continue on the raid topic for a second. Yeah, unless you're spending like over $200 a month, I would say going for Gungans is not worth it for the raid. If you want to go for Gungans because you love Gungans, like go for it. Get a PB. We all love some
to be fair, I do think that a lot of us have like 3-star Gungans, and I'm not able to test it on my account at all, and I need to reach out to the community and see if I can't find some people that can test it for me. But I'm gonna guess with all of their anti-separatist energy that like some 3-star Gungans can probably do some solid stuff, especially if they change some things for
Oh, sorry, you mean in the raid or
yeah, I mean in PvP, I mean gear 3-star Gungans can take down
I've seen Gear 11 Gungans with their Zetas do Geos,
yeah,
and so that's the best I've seen. Oh, yes,
but yeah, I mean in the raid specifically, like even if they can get like 160k, I mean
I have 5-star. I have 5-star all my Gungans, and I'm not Jar Jar obviously, but I'm not able to get any damage on the raid.
Oh wow,
None.
not able to kill any units.
Yeah,
wow.
Then CG really needs to shift some stuff because if they can't even get any use out of because I know the Gungans have a ton of anti-separatist synergy, and like
it's just like in the raid,
doing stuff.
It doesn't matter. Their plasma shield goes down so fast, and they can't do enough damage to really mitigate it at all.
Yeah, and then it's the issue of like what they're investigating supposedly right now with it. Why are we fighting relic characters on the sub Gear 12 Tier 0?
Yeah.
What sense does that make?
Like it's insane, like how hard it is to get through Tier 0 without like it's I don't know. It's kind of like how SLKR felt in the I don't know if you guys ever did SLKR versus the Sith Triumvirate raid.
Yeah.
You have to like line it up and make sure that you're siphoning in the right order and your mods are in the right order. Otherwise, you're not going to hit the full amount. And I feel like it's the same way with this, where like you have to set things up and make them line up in a row. Otherwise, your ducks need to be in a row. Otherwise, you're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Like the Jedi team allows you to have the ducks in a row, but like these other teams, it's just like maybe you do, maybe you don't.
I'm able to get
Even the
max with
Jedi
my
team.
non-Jar Jar Gungans right now, but yeah, it's a lot of setup, a lot of like ability chaining and make sure everything's ready. It's just a real pain.
Even the Jedi team, I have to remod every raid to get my Jedis to get a max
I mean,
score.
to do max damage, yeah, but like I mean, I could with crap modded, I can do like 10 mil.
Oh, I finally got back into the game.
Sorry, 1 mil out of 1.2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remod my Luminara and my kit. I don't remod the rest of them. But I don't keep good mods on either of them because outside of the raid, kind of poo-poo.
Yep. And like I do appreciate that like overall most of this raid you don't really need to remod for, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, a lot less remodding than Endor, that's for sure.
Yeah, but like still, the fact that
for Endor.
Yeah.
I
did at least for the Leia run. I didn't always for the other ones, but the Leia run I did because it was a guaranteed no RNG max score with a remod. If you had the correct stats.
I don't have Leia, so I
That's
didn't have
fair.
to worry about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I don't have Leia either, but my guild was pushing on it and be like, oh, we want higher scores, trying to push this crate, and so I would.
I don't even have Piet relicked.
Oh well.
But then again, I do have hot utils, so it makes it significant.
Yeah, if I didn't have hot utils, I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, if I didn't have hot utils, I would struggle very.
Now, most of my remodding though, I did actually do in game, but I needed hot utils to restore my baseline.
Yeah. Same.
I just scale mod sets off of like certain characters and then just put them right back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I typically do it for like my free-to-play accounts and for like events and stuff, is just making mod stuff for them.
Right.
I'm just like, oh yeah, my Vader one is a great offense set, and so I'll use that on whoever the damage dealer is.
You should be able to add those accounts to hot utils.
Unless they changed it. When I first started, you could only have one alternate account on there.
I think it's 3. It's either 2 or 3. Because my brother has 3 accounts total, and he has all 3 on all utils. So.
I have 3 on total, yeah.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge to those of you here in chat. Hot Sauce and I are in discussions about something, a little side project.
Gotcha.
But
a little peepee.
Yeah, a little peepee. Hot Sauce is talking about my little peepee.
Makes sense.
Well, I'll have to see because, like, I honestly haven't really looked at how Hot Utils has been set up since I set it up like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, I pretty much, at least for Endor, I had a bunch of loadouts saved. It would be like speed offense 1, speed offense 2, speed offense 3, and then I would just move those loadouts between all my characters, so between like Drogon and Scout Trooper, between Piet and Han, and just work my way through my roster.
The nice thing about Endor is it wasn't like a different set of mods for each team. It was just you just need this mod setup,
right?
Basically.
Yeah,
and then after that you just move.
Yeah, it was very brainless remodding.
You're too dumb for that. Yeah, I plan on doing a Hot Utils video soon. But
yeah,
honestly,
I have it and I don't know how to use it. So I would actually find that helpful.
And the Hot Sauce has a ton of videos too, but they are a little in the weeds at times. But yeah, I consider myself a reasonably knowledgeable Hot Utils person, at least with all the guild tools, doing like the TW planning and or TW command and the TB planning and stuff.
I need to learn that because we're starting another free-to-play account.
Oh god, I'm so sorry.
Next month, and
gosh,
so I'm gonna have 2 guilds that I'm managing.
Don't do it. Run away. Oh no.
I have some really great officers though that do a lot of
stuff. Just figure out how to change the character you have.
Hot Utils, the TB planning stuff is great for like platoons and stuff, as long as all the members are checking Discord and checking their Discord DMs and their pings and everything. But if you have people that might hop in and deploy before they've opened Discord, you might run into some problems.
Gosh, I am so rusty at this game. Why are we pushing their spawn? I'm gonna go capture other objectives.
I lost all my score when I got booted. I think my internet slowed down a little bit because I don't have fiber, and playing multiplayer
sure,
game while
Jack.
streaming is kind of tough.
Sure, we all believe you. We all know you just have 8 kills.
Yeah, I didn't disconnect to hide how bad I was doing and then rejoin. That didn't happen.
That's what I did. I mean, what?
No.
You left, and I've been here the whole time, and I'm still doing worse. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm not able to get fiber internet, so it sometimes can't quite handle the upload speed from streaming and playing games like this.
My last place, I could only get 40 megabits. That was the
Up or
speed
down, or both.
Down.
Oh wow.
Do you also have Alex RG? Do you also have the Raid Omicron, or is that just the Zetas?
Oh, I don't have any gun Zetas on my gun hits, so.
Yeah, we got one person in Twitch chat who's saying that they're doing barely up to 100k with no Zetas and all 3-star.
I was gonna say I didn't see that in your YouTube chat.
They have to be 5-star to use them.
Okay, he's using the Raid Omicron. Okay, that's where a lot of
that'll do it. Yeah, that's definitely not an Omicron I'll be investing in since you don't need it to max with gun gets. Even without Jar Jar, I'm getting 1.8 mil without the Raid Omicron. At Relic 7
pay me to apply a Raid Omicron, and
I do get paid
exorbitant amount of money.
I wouldn't mind doing it if the raids rotated back in, but I'm never gonna apply it knowing that it's gonna have a shelf life.
However much it costs me to do a regular Omicron, you would have to pay me 4 times that to do a Raid Omicron, even though it's half the price.
I was about to say they did knock it down to 10. I did notice that.
Okay,
still not really worth it though.
If someone were to offer you $69, would you apply the Phalanx Omicron?
No.
I think I'd have to open up CG's money to Omicron converter and see what they price Omicrons at.
Out of principle, I would not.
Dang. So are you calling me a sellout?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, the good news is Galactic Challenges, no matter how hard, I always have a team that beats it.
I did a Swogo game mode tier list recently, and
that's interesting.
I'll just spoil a little bit. Galactic Challenges was all the way at the bottom.
Oh yeah, fair. I hate Galactic Challenges.
I have so
below
many
Conquest.
Below Conquest for sure.
Wow.
Because because if I have 2 busy days, I miss a Galactic Challenge. If I have 2 busy days, I can still catch up on Conquest, but
yeah, I guess it depends what you're doing in Conquest. Max Crate is really painful if you miss a few days. It's certainly possible, but it's
Conquest
painful.
was also F tier, but I think I put Galactic Challenges below it.
Dang, he blocked the last hit.
Oh, did I jump in front of you?
No. Yoda did his little thing where he stops himself from getting hit with his force.
A rocket blew up on my back, so I thought that might have been you.
Yeah.
If only I was in the same squad as my friends.
The one thing that I feel good about when it comes to the Raid Omicron is just the fact that I can just hit auto and get a full score.
Yeah, is it that easy? Is it just full auto?
I literally hit full auto, don't remod a single thing, and just leave it for 5 minutes and it finishes. So like,
that sounds really nice, and I'm gonna be strong. Though. I'm gonna stay strong.
But yeah, normally if I wasn't the person that was like trying to test things for people and like trying to do that kind of stuff, I would never have put that on.
Right.
And like Phalanx Omi, if someone hadn't paid me $69 to do it, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, like I know I tested the Lumi Zeta and stuff before. Like I didn't have it, and so I did like a few runs without it, and then did a few runs with it, and then posted on Reddit, and I was like, hey, this is what we had before the Omi, this is what we have after. It's basically doubling your score. Good luck.
Yeah, I did that.
Raids go half a year, territory and GAC Omis fall off, and they're double the price. That is not an argument at all, dude. Qui-Gon's Omicron was like one of the first Omicrons, and it still has one of the highest gold rates in the game.
It's like the only popular TW Omicrons I think that have even like somewhat fallen off are like Phasma. I think it's one of the only ones that's like really fallen off for me.
As far as GAC goes, I mean, Special Forces is not particularly great, but it's still not bad.
I mean, even
And it really
even
depends where
now, I
you
still
are
get use out of
personally
my
in
special
GAC.
forces. I still get, my guild still gets uses out of Phasma Omi. Like,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily they fall off from the top end, but that's obvious.
I'm about to say, yeah, I'm
Kinda-
460 mil guild. Like, obviously, we're gonna not use that stuff as much, but I think most people should be able to use most applied on, unless it's like an Omicron that would make you switch leads or something like that, and you don't want to switch to a different lead. I think they mostly hang on.
Yeah,
Trying
like
to think of some good examples. But.
you have a good point with Zamomi. Like, I still use Zamomi constantly, but like I know that a lot of people don't because they pull the whole Lord Vader counter or they use Fennec and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is, also with Mommy Mandalore being introduced, I think Zamomi's going to start being used a little bit more.
Yeah, because then it does free up your bounty hunters a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one because bounty hunters are just so good. It's just so hard to like flex them into so many different directions.
Yeah, I definitely think that people are sleeping on the fact that, regardless of the current Datacron set, if I'm understanding everything correctly, which I will be testing this during this next 5v5 season, I just didn't really see many Padme-crons, except the one that I baned. Padme-cron can be two-shot by basically just going in with a bounty hunters and
in 3v3 or 5v5.
In 5v5.
Okay, yeah, it can if you get lucky with the leap, presuming it's the ignore taunt level 6. But either way, Mando would get to revive and stuff, and you could try to.
It doesn't matter about the ignore taunt level 6 because they're all under stealth, and so all they can hit is Bosk.
Yeah, as long as they don't swap GK for Mace, yeah, I guess you're right. That would be fine. Yeah, that could work for sure.
So, not to switch gears too much, but this has been bothering me. Game modes that
my name is Sally.
Things that need to be just always active. Can we talk about Finalizer and Radis? And how those events come around once a month, and you have to wait 2 years to get them if you don't.
They're twice a month right now.
Or sorry, twice a month.
But yes, it's still annoying. Your point still stands.
What actually bothers me more right now is in the world of hyperdrive bundles and the world of lightspeed bundles, the fact that the base level ships only come around once a month.
Yes.
Yeah.
Arkin and
do you know how many people have come in for roster reviews and I'm like, why don't you have SLKR yet? And they're like, oh, I don't have a 7-star ship yet.
Yeah.
I have a guy that's getting close for Executor, and his biggest obstacle is Executrix isn't 7 stars yet.
Yeah, that is wild.
And they only allow you to like refresh it like once or twice too.
Yeah, those need to be shifted to like.
I was like,
yeah.
You could have just gotten Chimera to 7 stars.
Yeah. Yeah, those need to be shifted to like daily or weekly, and then the Radis Executors, Radis and Finalizer definitely need to be weekly. Just accelerate the crap.
I honestly think that Executor and Profundity should be shifted twice a month.
Probably do some type of like acceleration. Wouldn't hurt, but I'm sure they make so much money too with people refreshing them, so I doubt they will.
Oh yeah,
but it should
they
be.
definitely won't.
I mean, yeah, the only time that I've until I made my channel that I'd spent $100 on this game was when I got Executor.
I wish that was the case.
At least it was nice with Profundity.
And I was like, oh, sick.
At least it was nice with Profundity that it's really great even below 7 stars. Like even at 4 and 5 stars, Profundity was really good. Then they were like, Leviathan, we need to make sure that this thing barely works below 7 stars.
Yeah, like Executor and Profundity, they're like, yeah, 4 stars you can at least do stuff, 5 stars you can do some solid stuff, and then like Leviathan's like, yeah, you can counter this with the most garbage Marauder you've ever seen.
But you didn't even need Marauder to beat it. I was beating them before Marauder with Negotiator. It's crazy how bad it is below 7 stars on defense. And I think it could still do some stuff on offense, but it's so expensive. It's like, oh, all these R9 characters, lose to Negotiator unless you pay us money or wait like 30 months. Or however long it is. It's just an absurd amount of time.
Like the fact that people keep telling me they want to go for Leviathan and I have to keep saying, not, okay, sounds good. Because it's impossible to farm with 2 conquest characters involved, but like also the fact that it's like, okay, you need to start saving up crystals right now, otherwise you're not going to have a viable fleet for years.
I am doing a Leviathan rush on my free-to-play account.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, I know, and it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But okay.
My most like tragic story with this game in terms of like alt account was, so my brother and I are twins. I think I mentioned it at one point. We decided we were going to start alt accounts on the same day, get in the same squad arena, the same fleet arena, and copy the same farming path, so we could see like how much and be in the same guild, so we could see like how much RNG affected like how quickly your account moved. And after a year of playing, just barely under a year, completely free play, we unlocked a GL on the same day. So that was super cool. And we both unlocked. We did a Sith Eternal Rush account and unlocked him on the same day, and that was in 2020. We unlocked him, and then a week later, Crystal's left Squad Arena to go to Grand Arena. When we rushed Sith Eternal because he could get #1 in Squad Arena every day.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
So that was really painful.
At least with C, it sets you up pretty well to go to Executor right after.
That's exactly what we did. Yep. Yeah. Now the account has everything but Leia, Sans, a couple of legendaries. So, and that was 2020 that we started those.
I killed a Wookiee.
Nice.
I have cut the in-game chat off like 4 times, and it keeps popping up.
Yeah, so I think I was doing the math. I think I need about 80,000 crystals saved up by the time for everything that I need.
Wow.
So it's gonna be great because I have to get my R8 and 9 mats through crystals because our guild will be nowhere close. Because all of us are free to play, so I'm not like mooching off of anybody.
Right.
And then I think that includes the refreshes for Leviathan.
How much did you say? 70,000?
I think it's about 80.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think it's technically a little over that, but I think I'm just
Alex
saying
RG,
80.
there's no way that you can justify that with that sentence. Leviathan isn't the worst farm. When you get it to 7 stars, it's gonna go boom.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an amazing farm, but it's really an end-game farm. Like, you already kind of need a lot of things in place. You need to be above 4 million doing Proving Grounds. You need to be, hopefully, getting R9 mats, but you don't have to. You can buy them.
And you have to be able to clear the Fury Class Interceptor and the Malgus.
Yeah, and those are not easy
the
at
Malgus
all.
Proving
Yeah.
Grounds node is like the hardest Proving Grounds node in the game.
Yeah, so I have to go farm Jedi Knight Luke just to be able to clear that event.
Yeah, I did, at least my alt account for the longest time, I still did the JMK gas thing, where you do like gas Rex 5s with JMK and Watt, and give JMK the weapon tech to get him faster, to damage immune gas, and then sit there and hope they all die to dots and retry that about 80 times per Proving Grounds until I finally finished that character.
I just did it on my account with the weirdest comp. I used Treya lead with Malik SLKR Daka Zombie.
Okay.
And
okay.
I got 1 star. I didn't get 3 stars or anything. But
At least it worked, yeah.
Yeah, I love how everyone's just like, just use Malik and Watt, and it's like, bruh, I will never relic my Watt until I have to. Like,
yeah, there's no reason until you get JMK.
Yeah, I'm going for JMK soonish.
And like Malik doesn't have anything he really connects to unless you count the Leviathan. And it's just like, so like that's why with all of my guides when it comes to like Proving Grounds, I'm like, yeah, SLKR, the base level SLKR you get from Lightspeed bundles, the base level Ray you get from Lightspeed bundles. Like you add in L3 because it was one of the Lightspeed bundles that leads to Ray.
Did you have a way to do Malik without, with Malgus without, with just Lightspeed bundles?
No, I did all the tiers that you could actually do basically.
I was gonna say I don't know of a way to do it with just Lightspeed bundles.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Because I tried it with my Ray and I tried it with my SLKR and neither of those worked.
We did it, guys. We won.
Yay.
I sucked, but we won.
Did I climb my way back up on the scoreboard a little bit? No, not really.
Oh no, Beaver's ahead of me again. By like literally 100 points.
By 1 kill.
Every time I see a loading screen on this game, I get so sad that Squadrons died. I don't know if you guys ever really played Squadrons, but man, I loved that game.
I played Squadrons 3 times in VR and was like, dang, if this game was like a little bit more invested into it, I would kill for this game.
I went on a 40-game win streak with my brother, duo queuing ranked. I absolutely love that game.
Everyone quit out. Let's go play a game of Ewok Hunt.
Okay.
I have an attack Naboo raid, and I have how long?
Hopefully a couple hours.
2 hours. 6:30. Okay, yeah, I got an hour and 15.
Do you need to go do that? Because
Nah. I'll set an alarm on my phone for 45 minutes, and then I'll go do it if I Forgotten.
So, Beaver, you said you're from Alaska, right?
Yep,
So, Matt, where are you from then?
more or less.
I live in Colorado.
Okay, okay. And I'm in
We're in the
Alabama, so
state.
we have 3 different regions here.
Ash, that's the problem. We aren't hunting the poor Ewoks. The Ewoks are hunting the poor
Yeah.
us.
And where's our
So,
propaganda showing that the Ewoks are actually vicious, murdering creatures, and we're the poor troopers who are stuck running for our lives?
Speaking of Ewoks, I have a poll going on right now on my Discord of what they want my new farming plan to be for this new account, and my
If you
wife
say
suggested the
Ewoks.
idea that she come on stream and pick a bunch of random characters for me to farm, and then I
Oh
have to just
no.
make a farm plan out of that. And I mentioned it to people, and people are like, "Yes, that, please." And I'm like, "Oh God, it's just gonna be all Ewoks." Because she's like, "Oh, that one's cute. Do
That
that
would be
one."
funny, though. That would be funny.
So I don't know what we're gonna end up doing, but it'll be real fun. And I have a feeling she's just gonna pick some of the most random characters.
Mm-hmm.
We will need to stream for like 14 hours just for $24. Yeah, essentially.
Hey, that's a 1 point something dollars an hour.
Jokes
Yeah,
on them. I
Kids in
stream
China
for
make.
my streaming's all for free. I don't even get money.
I do it because I love the game. Do you get fall damage in this game?
No.
Not with Ewoks, apparently.
I hope
I
not.
don't think Ewoks do, but regular Stormtroopers
Okay.
do.
Okay, so that does that.
I started as an Ewok. I don't know if we all
Same.
did, but
Same.
I guess we joined a
Beaver's
game in the
pretty
middle.
mid-match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do these abilities do as an Ewok? I don't even
You
know.
can hold F1.
Far right buffs your allies and scares the shiz out of stormtroopers.
Yeah.
And then your middle ability is basically you can see through
Wall
the
hacks.
woods and see enemies through walls, as well as see them on your radar. And then left bumper is a ranged attack that does deal damage over time.
Bumper.
And the stormtroopers overall have finite amount of health, and so if you deal damage to them, it stays that way.
Did we want to start getting into the movie tier lists now, or did we want to hold that off?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So number 1 for me is Rise of Skywalker.
So anyway, moving on. No, I'm kidding.
Really quick, you said you had a question that was very important that you wanted my opinion on, and I don't see a question in the chat. Was it how cold it's been, or did you have another question that you just hadn't asked because I didn't respond? And yes, this is Space Vietnam. The trees are speaking Ewokese. Which, by the way, is not actually all gibberish. It's actually a mix of 3 different languages.
I have read that before, yeah.
I think Zulu is one of them.
I'm not sure. And so you were indeed serious about Rise of Skywalker being your number 1? Was that?
No,
okay.
Absolutely not.
I mean, you know. So what do you have as your number 1 then?
Wait, we should go down. We should go to bottom to top.
Yeah,
okay.
Let's hear your worst.
For me, it's Last Jedi. Last Jedi is the worst. In my opinion.
That is indeed what I have as my worst. Yeah.
It's a really common one.
Yeah.
I know I could probably find it in a YouTube video somewhere, but
yeah, I mean, I have my videos about it, but and I talked about it a million times about it on stream. Let me go back into the recesses. Rise of Skywalker is the worst one.
Really? Okay.
Yep. It was a rushed movie that, the first half of it was just trying so hard to get rid of everything that they did in episode 8, including the part good, and then the promises that they said at the beginning they didn't deliver on in the end, bringing back a dead actor that everyone loves to say you need to be okay with being yourself, and then her ending with I want to be someone else, I'm a Skywalker, is like the weirdest stupid thing I've ever seen, regardless of the whole Skywalker thing and whether that's okay or whatever. Just the fact that they were like, let's resurrect this dead character to say be okay with who you are, and her whole journey is meeting an evil version of herself, finding out she's a Palpatine and all this stuff, and they're like, yeah, no, what if she just never learned that lesson and instead never became okay with who she was?
I agree with everything you're saying, but I think that the reason episode 8 is so bad, or episode 9 is so bad, is because episode 8 basically
Ryan
detailed
Johnson left
everything.
J.J. Abrams in a impossible situation. At least that's
Yes
the way I look
and
at
no.
it.
Because like you could have gone full on into Kylo Ren being the bad guy, but 90% of what happened in episode 9 was them being like, but we want to redeem Kylo Ren. We don't want him to be the bad guy because they got rid of the big bad. And so I think there was a version of episode 9 that, yes, episode 8 was not my favorite movie by any means. Was it well done? Yeah. I mean, there was some
Visually, it
really
was
solid
nice.
shooting. Yeah, and like there's some really cool stuff. Like I actually
What do you
really
mean by
enjoyed
visually it was nice?
There were a lot of
Like-
really cool shots, like
Yes, and, like,
cinematography.
Okay.
the salt was really interesting and cool, and like
Because
you
the
could see, like-
choreography is terrible.
Yeah,
Oh, I mean, the choreography through all the sequels is terrible. Which is, I think a lot of people are blaming on the whole size of the lightsabers, but I also think it's just the choreographers were not great. How much to extend the stream? Another 4 days. To check what the overall things are, you can go over to Discord. Here, we'll pull up the rules right now for you guys. So,
I hate how they
under
wasted
announcements.
Snoke's character. That was one of the biggest offenses to me. I totally agree.
yeah.
So yeah, if you get a membership, it adds 10 minutes, 20 minutes for the next level, 30 minutes or 3 hours for the top level. Every $1 or 100 bits is an additional 2 minutes, and every subscriber or follower. So even if you can't afford anything, you can go and grab a couple friends, have them subscribe to the channel, and that'll add time as well. So
Yep.
it will continue to the 4 days as we build up. We are trying to save money for moving the beaver dam and building a new setup. So final stretch.
So the reason I
Oh,
have
man, it's expensive.
8 as my least favorite, and I think I've said
Mhm.
this a lot on stream too, is just that you can pull purely the fact that you can pull an hour out of the middle of the movie and it doesn't change the plot.
Yes, that
The
is
Casino Planet.
Yeah,
that
you,
is
you
the
can pull all
biggest
that
problem I
out
have with
and
episode
it doesn't change anything because they didn't need to find the code breaker to get captured. They could have just gone on, gotten captured, and then picked up. That's my main complaint is it just didn't move the plot.
It was a
Yeah,
side quest that was totally pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it literally, like even if it was just for character development and then they like succeeded, I would be like yes, but like literally nothing changed.
Yeah. And they could have done character development that didn't take an hour.
Yes,
Well-
100%. I concur. That is the biggest sin of episode 8. I also think that they failed on the fact of they took their whole idea of screwing with the equation of Star Wars too far, because it, like every time something that normally in Star Wars would go well, you know, Poe being heroic, anything like that, like all that kind of stuff, every single one of them just didn't work. And so it got to the point where in the movie where I just didn't trust anything that was happening on screen, and they lost my trust as a viewer entirely. And I was like, nothing's gonna go right, and sure enough, nothing went right for the rest of the film.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that Ryan Johnson went into that saying, I'm here to subvert expectations as much as I can instead of make a good movie and continue off what's been done. And I attribute a lot of the failures of episode 9 to episode 8, and so I try not to look as harshly on 9. You're right that they did have maybe some arguably better paths they could have gone, but killing off like the main villain that you've been building up this whole time was a big issue.
And
Yeah,
then also,
I do think it was a problem, but I think that episode 9, the way they handled it was just so awful, like from start to finish.
Yeah.
It was just, and like it was the best that they could come up with. Really, no, it was just the best they could come up with while holding on to their things of I want this character to be
Yeah.
like this. I
Yeah.
want this to happen like this. And it's like, no, you could have ran with it. Like honestly, Rey from nowhere was one of the best things that I could have seen from episode 8
Mhm.
because it meant that, you know, that's that same idea as anyone can wear the mask, anyone can be Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah.
But instead now everyone has to be related to someone if they're going to, you know, be powerful with the Force.
yeah, I totally agree.
So like they just, I don't know, they took the good parts and the bad parts and just ruined every part of
The last
episode 8. So
the last point I'll make on why episode 8 was the worst in my opinion is because of it's what truly killed Luke. It's what made him just kind of a terrible character. Grouchy old man Luke drinking.
Yeah,
from
that
green
was
milk
also
from
not a thing I enjoyed.
Yeah,
Just-
I think they could have done much better with Luke overall, and I think they had some good parts. Like, I thought it was very compelling to have the idea of, like, Luke has kind of lost faith, and I think that's a compelling point. But I feel like having this random a girl show up and solve his problems and make him reconsider just didn't make sense to me, and like, yeah, like, I don't know, it ruined a lot of Luke's character. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
And that's one of my biggest things I have problems with just Star Wars in general, is whenever they do that. Like, you look at the Clone Wars season 2, and they just were like, oh yeah, Jango Fett being a Mandalorian, we're gonna toss that in the trash, even though everyone loves that. And then we're not gonna fix that until someone who actually cares about Star
Yeah,
Wars.
I was about to
makes
say, at least they
Mandalorian
did
season
eventually
2.
fix that.
Sounds good, Master Jedi. You have a great night.
All right, well, we can move on to the next pick. I'm sure we could all sit here and talk about 8 and 9 for a while.
Yeah. So slot 10, since that's 11 out of the feature films. What do you guys have as the next word?
I have Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and I'm sorry, I know the
Wow.
implication of that means I have some sequel movies above it, but I honestly, there are 2, maybe 15-minute segments in that movie that I enjoy. I did not enjoy the majority of it, and it's got some nostalgia factor. So I've got them in like a letter tier list. I still have that as a B. Like, I still have that as like an okay movie.
Yeah, I say this every time I talk about Star Wars movies. When I talk about Star Wars tier list, I'm still gonna watch Episode 9 over a lot of other movies.
Yeah, like if I'm gonna watch a movie, it's probably gonna be a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, Episode 2 for me, just I like the beginning. I like the end of it with Geonosis and everything, and the middle's just super slow.
Yeah, on my list, Episode 2 is the next worst for me too. It's so bad.
What do you have, Matt?
I have Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
Episode 9.
The fact that you have Rise of Skywalker above Episode 2 is just a little ridiculous to me. But like,
wait, no, I said
I do.
Him.
Yeah.
Him.
I'll get there. The conversation's gonna get more painful. Trust me.
I don't think I need to harp on why Rise of Skywalker is number 10 for me.
Yeah, I think we got there.
Oh yeah, I know.
I mean, I think Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi, I could take either one and leave the other. Like, it really doesn't matter.
Sorry, go ahead.
Attack of the Clones below Rise of Skywalker.
I'll get into my reasoning a little bit when we get there. Unfortunately, I would go ahead and spoil that it's actually not the next one in my list either.
Oh my gosh.
So the next one in my list is Force Awakens, which I don't necessarily. I don't think it's a bad. It's in the middle of my B tier. I think it was just too much of a New Hope copy paste. It was a good movie though. I did not enjoy it. So,
in my opinion, I totally agree. It is 100% a New Hope copy paste. In my opinion, that's better than a ruining lore and pulling something out of your butt and
you walks on you?
No.
Okay.
Trying to salvage.
mm-hmm.
I'm bringing like a whole party towards you guys right now.
Okay.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
So the next one in my like tier list, just to spoil that, is Rise of Skywalker, and I could probably swap Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker, but I honestly kind of enjoy Rise of Skywalker. I don't like if I'm not thinking too hard, but like visually, it's a really pleasing movie. Like just to sit there and watch and say, man, this is just some cool stuff. But then like once you start to dig deep into it, it starts to have plenty of problems. But it's visually pleasing to watch if I turn my brain off.
Lights off.
But yeah, so like I've got those both kind of right next to each other for me.
Give you back yes, Force Awakens is great. The whole Starkiller base being a planet with living trees not orbiting a star, somehow maintaining an atmosphere, people dueling on the surface while it was blowing up. Dude, if you're coming for a sci-fi movie, you're coming to the wrong place. Star Wars has never been a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it's a space opera through and through.
Yeah, it's always been sci-fi fantasy.
for me, so 11 and 10, if we were like on a tier list, I would probably
Mhm.
have them in D tier.
Okay.
Everything above that, so everything I'm going to mention past this point, is B tier or higher.
Gotcha.
I actively dislike Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi. No, I'm not going to, again, like I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to flame people that like them. I'm just saying, my personal opinion,
I feel
don't like what
flamed.
they did storytelling wise.
I'm kidding.
But then everything above it, I actually enjoy. It's just that you got to rank them. So
Yeah.
for me, number 9, I guess, is Solo.
Wow.
Interesting.
Okay.
See, Solo was one that got a lot of hate when it came out, just because it came out after Episode 8. And honestly,
Yeah.
I think it's a solid movie.
I
I like Solo.
I have one major problem with Solo, and that's the fact that everything we know Han Solo for happened in a week. And I think that's stupid as
Yeah, that's
sin.
fair. You know what? That's not a reasonable point.
I
Yeah,
think
like you
Donald
watch
Glover
episode
was
4 and like everything you learn, and you're just like, oh yeah, he did the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs, and all this stuff. It all happened in a week. He met Chewbacca. All of it.
I think
happened in a
Solo
week.
would have been better as a TV show.
Everything. Yeah, I think so too.
I agree. There definitely could have been more for Solo. And again, like I mentioned, there's a big like jump here.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah. You're not saying
Solo
you
knows
dislike
everything.
it, just that it's just not one of your favorites, really.
Yeah, exactly. I just didn't find a lot of the characters as intriguing, and then also it was a story that set up stuff that never went anywhere. And
Yeah.
I'm a little bummed about that, and I kind of hold that against the movie because it never finished. And so
I think they were intending on doing more with it, and they did try. Like they tried to make like a Lando show and stuff, but like the absolute hate that came for after, like with the whole boycott with Episode 8.
Yeah, because it came like what, 2.5, 3 months, and then Solo.
So December was Episode 8, and then May was Solo.
Okay.
And so it was like 3-4 months later, and all of a sudden you're like sitting there with a new movie, and everyone's like, "Oh, we're not going to go see this."
Yeah.
It's like, why?
well,
Yeah,
so
and people have fatigue too.
Yeah,
I
they
love-
had like 3 Star Wars movies in a row right then.
I loved Lando in that movie. I really liked Han. I actually really liked the Han they picked. When they first announced him as the actor, I was like, "Ooh, I don't know," but I actually really liked him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he did a good job. Especially like they did a good job of like at the start, kind of not quite feeling there, and then by the end, you're like, okay,
You
I
can start to see him get his swagger and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Tobias, I liked,
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mr. Potato Twig, welcome.
but outside
Yeah,
of
I think
that,
Beckett was the best thing to come from that movie.
Yeah.
like L3, I didn't love. But kind of found L3 annoying. Kira was okay. I didn't have any real problems with Kira. The Infus Nest twist didn't really do it for me. And I don't know what other characters am I missing.
Well, there were
They
some
did feel
others.
something
There was
with
the
the
pilot
forearm
and stuff
guy.
like that, but they died. Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
Well, I don't know what happened to the Ewoks, but
They must be
yeah,
AFK
we're
or
not there.
something.
Yeah.
I got hit once.
Okay.
So my number 9, it's a toss-up, just depending on how I'm feeling.
Okay.
But I'm gonna have to go with, if I'm being objective, I'm going to say Episode 1. If I'm being
Ooh.
opinionated,
Hmm.
I'm going to say Episode 8.
Oh,
Okay.
you think objectively 8 is better than 1?
From the way it's filmed, the way it's done, everything about the script, everything about the story. If you can sit here and tell me exactly what Episode 1's about, then I will confirm that it is a good movie.
What do
I
you
think
mean?
because
Tell
I
you
did just
exactly
watch
what
it.
it's about?
They portray this whole negotiation and everything and this whole political stuff as like the main storyline.
I mean, the whole thing is mainly just
we have no idea what's happening
Yeah.
the entire time. You don't know what this whole negotiation's about. They he wanted to involve these politics for some reason, and no one knows what's going on for like 20 to 30 minutes of the
Yeah.
movie because they're arguing about things that we got no idea what this is about. And then we get pod racing for 10 minutes and we're like, oh, that's cool. And then we get Duel of the Fates at the end and we're like, oh, that's cool. And like, that's about it. And like, it's just, yeah, it's just not great.
I think It's gonna be way higher up my list.
I think
It's higher
that
on mine, but not that
heavily
much higher.
Episode 1 is influenced by nostalgia. I think
Yeah.
Episode 1 is objectively one of the worst Star Wars movies, but I think it's heavily influenced by nostalgia and just how much I'm losing the word.
Just rose tinted
Spectacle
glasses.
there is.
Yeah.
How much spectacle there is in
Yeah,
it, because
yeah,
it was like the first time we saw a double-bladed lightsaber. You know, we're getting to see other Sith for the first time. Like, there was so many cool and new things for back then, but like as a movie, it's
Yeah, and I think it's easy for us as like big Star Wars fans to understand what's going on during Episode 1, but I think you bring up a good point that like if that was the first Star Wars movie I ever watched, I'd be so confused. I'd be like, why are they talking about this? Why do we care? Like, it didn't do a good job of establishing large parts of the universe that I wish they had done a little more. But it is higher on my list, but I can certainly see where you're coming from.
And they don't necessarily need to go into it. Like, you know, their Episode 4, they talk about, you know, the Senate has been removed and things like that, but it's not central to the
Right, yeah, it's like a
storyline,
quick
whereas
little
this
throw-off
one,
line,
they make
you know?
it central the entire, and then this one, they make it like central because George Lucas wanted to show off Coruscant and wanted to show off the government and that kind of thing. But like, he just kind of, it all felt throwaway for like most of the movie. It's almost the same kind of thing as, you know, going into Episode 8 and just having a random 30-minute segment about these random two characters, because it's like none of this really mattered to the actual story. It was just the entire time we're just looking for an excuse to get Anakin from point A to point B and then back from point B to point A.
I suppose. So the next on the list, I think, is the one I already mentioned, right, where I had Rise of Skywalker, right? Yeah. So I'll let you guys go ahead with them.
I mean, I already said what my other one was, which is balancing between
right,
episode
yeah,
8
and 1, yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you have then?
For me, the next one up is Attack of the Clones. I think it's the weakest of the prequels. You're right. It has a few really good high moments, but outside of those, the film just isn't super great.
Right,
and then there's a bunch of cringy moments that really just detract from it.
Yeah.
And kind of pull you out of it.
I feel like it's one of the best for a kid.
Yeah, I really liked it, but watching it as an adult, like,
because there's so many cool moments. You see this guy in armor named Jango Fett, like they're fighting in the rain. There's so many really, really cool stuff, and it's also stuff that's like, you know, it's talked about in other Star Wars things. You know, you're watching Episode 4 and like the Clone War, and it's the start of the Clone War, and so like it has a lot of those really cool stuff. But like it's just overall just not a good movie.
Yeah.
Hey, Apple E, welcome.
And I think it ranks higher on my list than others because of partially due to nostalgia.
Yeah.
That's the first one I remember actually going to the theaters and watching.
Okay. I'll go on with my next on the list then. My next one is Episode 1 after that. So, and we've already kind of talked about that a good bit now. For me, it's like, it's better than a lot of the sequel movies and stuff, but it's one of the lower of the, like, George Lucas 6.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think Episode 1 and Episode 2 are both, rose-colored glasses, or, you know, watch right. Why watch right? I think he's.
Where's the exit supposed to even be at?
I don't know. There's something that you can do to trigger it, and I don't know how. Episode 9 is the greatest. Just because you have a full Relic 9 First Order does not mean Episode 9 is the greatest.
Emergency evacs on the way.
But yeah, I think my next on the list is Solo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it was solidly in the middle. Like my first time watching it, I wasn't like insanely impressed, but I thought it was a good addition to the things. Like the fact that the only complaints I really had was, everything happened in a week, and the music didn't feel very Star Warsy, and I feel like John Powell kind of missed his opportunity, because I love John Powell as a composer.
Okay. Yeah. My internet is struggling a little bit, so I apologize if my voice is delayed.
Composers?
Not really.
The guy who did Solo is the same guy that did How to Train Your Dragon.
I have not
And
seen
so
How to Train Your Dragon.
Dragon is considered like a really, really, really good soundtrack. You haven't? I thought you were married. Hurry up and get kids. Gosh.
You heard
How
him.
to Train Your Dragon's like soundtrack is like top tier, fully top tier, and it's done by John Powell. And then like he did a Star Wars movie, and I was like, this is subpar. So
I'll be honest. I don't really listen to the music that much when I'm watching movies.
That
I know
hurts
a
my
lot of people
soul
are,
a
like,
little
big on
bit.
that, but
Yeah.
for me, it's just like, as long as it doesn't take me out of it, which it's pretty hard to do, unless the just like music is bad or doesn't fit the vibe.
I don't look stoned. Leave me alone. Dude, okay, hold on. Who's here with me? Jack, can you protect me?
I actually... Oh, it finally let me move again. My internet was like full on dead there for a hot second. I'm protecting now, though. Yep.
Okay. Hold on. I gotta pull up the last subathon. I will show you Baked Beaver. Because Baked Beaver existed last time when we streamed for 36 hours straight. And I didn't
Matt, did
sleep
you
at
say what you
all.
had in this slot? You said Solo. What
I
did
forgot which slot we're on.
you... Fifth from the bottom. Am I crazy?
I'm in the middle of something.
Look, gaze upon Baked Beaver. This is what Baked Beaver looks like.
Oh, the
I
Ewoks
do
are
not
here.
look like Baked Beaver. I am zonked.
Oh, there he is. He's hiding behind the metal. Alright, to the extraction.
Fifth from the bottom, 3, 4, 5. So above Attack of the Clones, I have Force Awakens.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, above Solo, I have Force Awakens.
I think Force Awakens is actually a pretty decent movie.
Yeah.
I really don't think it's bad. It is 100% a copy paste of A New Hope, but I don't find that to really be that bad.
Problem,
like if you're gonna take a setup, A New Hope is an amazing setup to take.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's unoriginal, but I would rather them just do what is going to be a good setup than try to mess around with like what they do with episode 8 and 9.
Okay.
Dude, I couldn't find you guys for so long.
Yeah, we were hiding on like the edge of the map.
I might not be baked, but I'm starting to believe that the frickin' Ewoks are baked because I am not seeing them in the trees.
Well, the matches are just so empty, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's also only one other Ewok, and I think that guy was AFK because he never left the top thing.
So let's see. The next I had on my list might be slightly controversial is New Hope. I think it's a good movie. It's A. It's the bottom of my A tier, but it's below quite a few other movies for me.
Episode 1 is awful because this raid is awful. I don't know how
yeah. Actually, I'm taking episode 1 all the way to the bottom purely because of the raid.
Because of that movie, yep.
Yep.
I agree. And episode 6 goes all the way to the top because of Endor.
That's the thing, is when Endor raid came around, everyone hated it.
I still don't love it, but it's just rose-tinted glasses now. It's like, okay, maybe it was better than I thought it was.
Yeah. Where are we right now?
If any of the officers in my guild are watching, I'm autoing the raid. I don't care. Oops.
So that was 6th from the top for me. The one I just named.
And what did you name again?
New Hope.
Because I don't actually have a list in front of me because I was assuming that we just go over your guys's. And so I'm literally just remembering back.
Okay, well, I can just rattle off all of mine, and then Matt can rattle off the rest of his, and then...
No. We make Beaver think of these off the top of his head.
Okay.
He says something that he later retracts on.
You know what, that's
everybody will cancel him for it.
True.
Perfect.
Yeah, I have a screenshot of a tier list on my left monitor.
What did you just say? Like, what was the last one?
A New Hope is the movie I just said, and that was the 6th from the top. So, I think we've named... I guess that's my 6th one to name. Or 7th?
What episode am I missing?
You said 1, 2, 7, 8, 9.
And Solo,
And Solo.
right?
So you're missing Rogue One and 4, 5, 6, and 3.
Yeah, Rogue One original
Okay,
trilogy.
so there's only 5 left. Okay,
yeah.
we're good.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I then I am in the right spot. I thought I was missing one for some reason.
How did you get Ewok again, man?
That's all right. I kind of like playing Ewok, not gonna lie.
I'm gonna say episode 6.
Okay, that's a controversial one. Okay.
I think episode 6 has one of the best moments in all of Star Wars. I get chills every single time I watch the sequence between Luke and Vader where the music swells. And it's just absolutely perfect. But also overall in the movie, it's just okay. The pacing's kind of funky. I still love it, but it's just definitely my least favorite of the original trilogy.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah,
they definitely went for a very different feel from 4 and 5, and it works for some people, and it just didn't work for me.
Grenade out!
No, I think that's really fair. I don't think I don't think that's too controversial.
Yeah, controversial is probably a little bit of a controversial statement to call it controversial.
Because the rest of the movies you have are
Yeah, they're all good.
like,
yeah.
So
Yeah, like we're at the point where all the rest of them are.
Yeah, these are all good movies. If these are on somewhere, I'm
Right,
sitting
that's
down
fair.
and watching them. Like it's not. Yeah. All right. Well, then the next one I had, or Matt, did you do yours?
Yeah, I said Force Awakens.
You did, yes. That's right.
Wait,
The next one I had was Solo. So I do actually have Solo above Episode 4. I really liked Solo. I absolutely loved like the Membon stuff too, like seeing like Imperial like ground forces that are not stormtroopers fighting and everything. I thought that was super cool. I loved the Millennium Falcon like doing the Kessel Run. L3 was a little annoying. You're definitely not wrong there. But in general, it's one of my like just favorite movies to sit down and watch.
Ow.
I think I also need to rewatch Solo because it's definitely the one I've seen the least amount of times, and so
Yeah, that's fair.
that could also be contributing to the fact of why I don't think I like it that much. And again, it's bottom of B tier, so it's like still a good movie, but
Yeah, this is mid A tier for me.
so for me, after Force Awakens, I have Phantom Menace. And now we're really at the point of like I love all these movies, but I just can't have them all be there.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I don't really like episode 4. I think, like, obviously from an objective standpoint, from like a level of, cinema history and everything, it is wildly amazing. But I can 100% understand why people don't like it, especially because the difference in how cinema works nowadays versus how it worked back then.
I absolutely
So,
love the second
especially
half of
with
Episode
younger
4.
people, it's like a lot of people, struggle with episode 4, but I grew up on it and I love it. Like it's it's up there for me.
Okay. All right. Well, then
But as where are we right now? We just went over.
that would have
I said-
been. Let's see. Oh God, hold on. I'm trying to
I
dodge
said
these
episode 6.
wispies.
Okay, yes, I know
Yeah.
where we are now.
Okay.
I'm dead. It will be the next one for me. Will be episode 3.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Fight me. Grievous shouldn't have died that fast, considering how he acted in the 2003 Clone Wars. And
2003 Clone
just-
Wars isn't canon.
yeah, but that was the thing, is it was back then. Like, it was something that, like, they're like, yeah, this is something cool for you. And we watched it and we're like, oh, this character is so interesting and cool. And then they made him the biggest wimp in the world. And then Anakin goes from in the beginning being like, oh my gosh, I love my wife, to let's kill some kids, bro, really quickly. Like, really quickly.
You don't have kids.
Like,
You don't know how easy.
Like, there's just quite a few times where it doesn't feel good in the movie. It has its problems. And just the all CG sets also are problematic to me. But
That's fair.
Problematic how?
Overall, I'm not saying it's a bad movie by any means.
Yeah. All these on our list are high. They're toward the top.
I just
so.
feel like somebody's gonna come into the stream though and be like, "You have
You're
this
shitting
about
on or
this?"
crapping on episode 3. Like,
See,
oh
that's the
god.
thing is I've spent a lot of time cultivating a community that can talk about this without being pissed off at each other.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was possible. In this
I was
world.
able to talk about a very controversial TV show for about an hour without anybody getting mad at anybody, and it was great.
Yeah, like we've talked about Acolyte a couple times.
Okay, I just didn't want to say the name, but yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Like I've been in other people's chats, and it's like literally mentioned and immediately just bigotry constantly. I'm like, holy shiz.
So the next one, the next one I had on my list after Solo was episode 6. So that is that's the top of my A tier is episode 6.
Wow. Episode 6.
Yeah, I just enjoy it. The space battle's super awesome. The redemption of Vader, Jabba's palace. There's just so many cool set pieces in the movie. And yeah, one of the biggest things is the music. I'm a big music guy, and I love the music in episode 6. I mean, pretty much all of the sequels have incredible music. But I absolutely love the music in episode 6 too.
Oh yeah, I definitely think it has a solid soundtrack.
I actually went to my wedding listening to this is not episode 6 related, but I was driving to my wedding listening to Anakin versus Obi-Wan, and me and my wife and I walked out of the wedding holding hands with the New Hope medal ceremony song playing. So that was super cool.
I love that.
I walked out to I'm a Believer because Shrek walked out to it.
Awesome, yeah.
For me, after Phantom Menace is we should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the bottom, right?
That was my 4th from the bottom.
100% Wet Bliskin.
Oh, I think I missed one because I was walking up. So I have A New Hope as number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
And then I have Rogue One as number 4.
Okay. Yeah, I can respect both of that for sure.
A New Hope, amazing setup, but it's a setup. It's not the climax. It's just got the rising action. It doesn't have the resolution in a satisfying way because the destruction of the Death Star is a resolution itself, but it doesn't have the full resolution of the story like episode 5 and 6, which are both above it. So
yeah,
and then Rogue One, absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying one of my favorite parts about episode 4 is that it's the rising action. I know I ranked it kind of low, but I still really enjoy it. Is that it's the rising action, but at least it has a really good like self-contained episode. You can watch it from start to finish, and you've gotten a conflict that started and ended in the same episode. It's not like some of the stuff that's been set up in other movies where it just builds and builds and then it's over and you have to wait for the next one. So at least they did have like a good stopping point in there. But go ahead.
Yeah, and because it was kind of meant to stand alone if it needed to.
Yeah, right. Because it was the first one. You need to get funding to make another one. You don't know if you're going to get to. So.
Yeah. And then Rogue One for me, I absolutely love Rogue One. I've probably seen Rogue One the most out of any of the Star Wars movies, because I went and saw it in theaters like 100 times with my friends.
Awesome.
But
have a good night, Nee.
Again, it's just like with everything else. Like there can only be one at the top. So
yeah.
The rest of these characters are more iconic to me, and they're special in a way that the Rogue One characters just won't be because I didn't grow up with them. And so it really is just a personal preference thing.
Yeah, once you get into the top 3, top 4, it becomes very just personal preference at that point. Well, I mean, the whole list is personal preference, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So number 4 for Beaver. I don't did number 4, did you?
Not yet, I don't think.
Yeah, episode 3.
Oh.
Okay, then we're all caught up. Okay. So my number 3 is Rogue One. So that's what I have as my number 3. Like you said, great movie, amazing visuals. It's probably one of the best visual Star Wars movies. Episode 9's really great visuals, but Rogue One has a lot more meat behind the visuals. So I very much enjoy it. And I like that it's not super, as much as I like Jedi and I like Sith, it is nice to have a movie that's just really not all about that, except for those last few minutes. But that was amazing. So I'm not going to complain
Well,
about
yeah,
those
I
last few
wanted to-
minutes.
I was gonna say I wanted to harp on that a little bit. Of those last few minutes, Vader, like that's the best Vader we've seen on screen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the
in my
Vader
opinion.
everyone's wanted to see for years and years and years because it's what the extended universe has done with him, and they didn't really take it like too far. Like they mentioned when they talk about it, like their overall rule for that scene was he can't do anything we haven't seen him do before,
Yeah,
and they do a fairly good job of that.
absolutely. For me, number 3 is Return of the Jedi. I love.
I mean, yeah, sounds good.
I love Return of the Jedi. Uh, I think the resolution, the turning of Vader, it concludes the Star Wars story as far as I'm concerned. Nothing happens after that. Palpatine dies forever. Vader
Yeah.
turns to the light, like this, and is never misconstrued as somebody from the dark. But I just think that it's such a satisfying conclusion, and it's Luke. Like Luke's one of my favorite characters in Star Wars, and
You son of a gun. I turned around and
I was sitting there and I was running towards you, and then I saw you were coming right my direction, so I just crouched in the river.
I had
and
been
just
chasing
waited.
him forever.
I literally turned around to look for Matt and then got stabbed in the back.
I love Return of the Jedi. I think it's great. I like the aspects of Luke turning to the dark a little bit when he fights Vader, and also like when you see him in Jabba's palace, of like, is this really like is Luke this way? Or like I thought they played very good there. My biggest complaint about it is Boba's death, but
Yeah.
aside from that,
Hey, they made up for that, right? No, I'm kidding. We won't get into that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're
Oh,
just
goodness. Yeah.
Already, this is just getting the end of time. But yeah, my number 3 is definitely Rogue One. Like it's just
Hey, high five.
especially considering how absolutely. What do you?
this raid is gonna take. Remember when I said I'm gonna auto on my raid? Sorry,
Oh, goodness.
it's still going.
2 games of Ewok Hunt and almost an entire tier list later.
Luminara has done
God.
24,000 damage being put on auto,
Oof.
but hasn't died. Okay, sorry.
But yeah, no, it's just with especially how I don't know if you guys have tried to look into like the making of Rogue One.
I have, yeah.
It's like impossible. Everyone signed NDAs. They keep everything hush hush because it was a nightmare. There was so many train wrecks that happened. They had to refilm huge sections of the movie, and like for how bad the production was, it is amazing. I love that movie so much. Like it to me feels like reading an old Star Wars book.
Mhm.
Like I love it. It feels like the essence of the extended universe in a movie form.
100%.
I'm not a big EU guy, honestly.
And that's fair, and especially because there's certain parts of the EU that I'm like, don't touch with a 10-foot pole. Like I honestly I think that there are many good reasons that Disney reset the canon.
Yeah. All right. Next
there's
one.
some really good stuff in there too.
Yeah. The next one I had on my list. This is my number 2. Might be a little controversial, but not really. Is Empire Strikes Back is number 2. I know that's number 1 for most people, or at least a lot of them, but that's my number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Which is still amazing. It's still S tier, amazing movie. But it's just not my number 1.
Let's go find a cave somewhere to hide out.
Might be some over here. I'll follow you. What did you have, Matt, for your number 2?
I also have Empire Strikes Back as number 2.
Okay, well then maybe it's not that controversial.
If I'm being objective, I think it's probably the best.
Same, but I'm not being objective.
But
There's Ewoks to the left and behind us.
And to the right.
No, Ewoks behind us are closer.
Wait.
How do you roll?
Alt.
P.
Oh, I guess rebound. It depends what your input is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm playing the keyboard.
Gross.
Too much Counter Strike in my history, man. Too much Counter
This is
Strike.
one of the few games that I still play on controller.
I had to play with a controller briefly when I broke my finger because it just got really hard to play otherwise. But now I'm slowly getting back on the keyboard now.
What does this do? I just found
It's
it.
just a
I
bigger
agree.
gun, and you can throw fire grenades.
And you have unlimited flashlight.
Oh yeah, didn't even notice that.
Oh well, someone took it.
Oh yeah, I did. What did you have as
Or
your
you're
number
talking
two,
about the little
Beaver?
thing in the box. The little thing in the box is a beacon to help us get to extraction faster.
Oh,
Ow, I'm gonna
There's a
die.
guy on me.
Yeah, I'm getting.
I got him, but there's.
I'm
another
down
to
as
kill.
well.
No, he killed me at the same time I killed him. Nice. Okay.
all right. Well, I'm running for my life from both of you.
Yeah, now I'm actually coming for you,
you're-
man.
So a basic sub adds 10 minutes, and then one above that is 20, one above that is 30, and then the top one, which I'm guessing no one will purchase because that one's mostly just for the memes, is 2 hours.
Dang.
It's $100 being the damn best. There's
That
only
sounds
one person
reasonable.
that currently holds that one, but you get your own video. You get to request your own video each month,
wow.
and like a couple other things.
Who's
Like
the one
even
person?
if you get
Are you
rid of-
allowed to say?
It's Joe Correa.
Okay,
I don't know if you know who the Correas are.
I do not.
They kind of just hop around the Galaxy of Heroes community
Yeah.
and just donate to all the streamers.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't
I've
have
yet to be
donations
introduced.
active yet, but
Yeah, same.
they have stopped by my stream a couple of times to say hi.
Yeah. Last
I'm
time we
actually
did a subathon,
super close.
he's the one that donated to get us over our 69th member, and so we got him a PP mug, and so he just sent me a picture of him with his PP mug like a week and a half ago.
Awesome.
Just as an update, this raid attempt is still going.
Oh wow.
Um,
So is it
okay,
the
it's
enrage
still
timer's full,
not
but you're
done
just
more
stuck
than-
on the same wave, I guess?
Yep.
Oh wow. Did you have targeting
No,
on or targeting off?
They're separate goals.
I had targeting off, and I did auto basic to try to stop Luminar from healing, and they still won't die.
Wow.
Just because I wanted to be able to give general goals that like everyone could have access to, and then things that were specific to subscribers.
My B2.
Beaver, did you do your number 2 movie?
I did not. It's
Okay.
A New Hope.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
And is that mostly
New Hope's ready.
nostalgia, or do you think critically that is probably like your number 2? Not that it matters a ton enough to defend it, but
Critically, I think objectively and non-objectively, it is my second favorite.
okay.
I don't really negotiate when it comes to the top of my list. I don't like put a whole lot of opinion. I kind of take into account both opinion as well as
I gotcha.
my overall just objectivity. Like for its time, it was absolutely insane, especially during a time of when everything was depressing. Making a movie that was about hope, basically,
Yeah.
was so vastly different and so interesting. I grew up on it. It's a self-contained story, which is a big thing for me. I love the fact that it's a self-contained story that can be added to, or it can be left alone. And like he does a great job with that. The music is just phenomenal, and like honestly, you just cannot beat the music. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, all fair points for sure.
Yeah, and like I mean, all the characters do such a good job, and yeah, I just love it.
Yeah, definitely fair takes. All right, well then, so my number 1 is episode 3. And that is probably mostly nostalgia, but I don't think I can watch that Anakin Obi-Wan fight without tearing up. It is just, especially with like the back, and I know this isn't necessarily something it should rely on, but after watching Clone Wars and stuff like that, like the TV shows, and then going and watching that and seeing that fight, it carries so much more weight to me now that it is hard for me to watch that without thinking about how epic it is, as well as just how much emotional weight goes into it that it may not have had at the time it came out, but it definitely has now. That's one of the coolest space battles at the beginning that we've had in the original 6 George Lucas movies. Like the trench run was really cool. but it just wasn't really much of a battle, and that was mostly technology limitations at the time. Really, episode 6 had a pretty incredible space battle, and then not a ton in one. One had the Anakin and the Naboo starfighter, and that was cool. But seeing like peak Clone Wars space battle was really sick, as well as you
True.
got the
That
duel
is
with
my favorite
Dooku and
opening of any of
everything.
the
Like,
movies.
yeah, it really does get right into the action. And then there's the duel with Dooku. The Grievous one, like you said, could be a little better, but in general, I love that movie so much, and it will always hold a special place in my heart.
Oh, of course, Yoder, I'm still alive. We still got an 8-hour limit going.
I feel like that's a dig at you, man. I think Yachter's taking shots.
Yeah, I think so. We need to get Yachter's twin brother over in here.
Wait, does Yachter have a twin too?
Not really.
Aw.
During a stream earlier this month, we had someone show up in chat. I'm guessing it was one of the Correas with the username Yachter. And it was hilarious.
I got excited there to think there was another twin around in the chat. Not a lot of twins around.
No, Correa hasn't shown up yet.
Matt, what did you have for your number one?
Revenge of the Sith.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I think I could have deducted that from all the movies you've listed off.
And
Well,
Empire.
then deduct
I'm
mine.
assuming.
Oh gosh.
Strikes Back.
Yeah, it has
Nope.
to be doesn't it?
It's the holiday special.
Oh god. All right, see you guys later. No, I'm kidding. Have you guys seen the most recent Lego holiday special though?
I haven't, no.
So it has
Lego.
Rey starting to train Finn as a Jedi in it. So
I'm guessing it's setting up for the movie they're making.
Believe
about 10
so, I
years in the
believe so.
future. Because they cut every single scene in episode 9 that explains why Finn is
was
going,
trying to go Rey. Yeah.
and I need to tell you something, because they cut every single scene
Yep.
that involved his force sensitivity, or cut every single scene that explains the whole Lando's actually looking for his daughter, and this could be his daughter, instead of just at the very end,
Yeah.
are you my daughter?
Instead of us having to
Like,
find all that out later. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was. Yeah, there's a reason episode 9's bottom of my list.
Yeah, that's fair.
But anyways, yeah, episode 5. So episode 4 and episode 5 have always been fluctuating, just depending on my mood, ever since I was a kid. But I think as an adult, episode 5 has gone up there because I personally have grown very fond of metaphors, as well as
Like
just
foreshadowing
any
and stuff,
kind of
right?
like life
Literary
advice
device.
as well.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the episode 5 really does a good job of showing off the good side of the Jedi, the non-hypocritical side of the Jedi, and like life lessons that like people can learn from the show that they're watching, and I really enjoy that. And the like a lot of people are like, oh, the cave scene, kills the overall story, and I'm like, no, it's so good for foreshadowing. It's like, it's like if he strikes him down, he becomes like him, and also on another layer, they're father and son, and so it works so incredibly well.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I love episode 5.
Yeah. Let me ask a question that doesn't get into the TV shows. I know it's technically somewhat related to Acolyte, but I'm not trying to talk about Acolyte.
Before we do,
okay,
we had a question in chat that I wanted to hit up.
Was the Clone Wars question? I think I did see that.
Yes. What was your favorite Clone Wars arc?
It's got to be Siege of Mandalore, right? At least for me, it's Siege of Mandalore.
Sorry, what was that?
I don't think I've actually been asked this. So I have to actually think.
So I'm going to have to exclude Siege of Mandalore just because I feel like it's the natural answer. And
I suppose that's
a
fair.
movie.
Yeah.
They spent their entire budget on just making those.
Okay, that's fair. Let me think. Yeah, non-Siege of Mandalore. The Ryloth arc is really good. Just kind of naming arcs off the top of my head. But
we have not gotten a raid from Arnold, so if he's not live anymore, then I am depressed.
I'm trying to think. So the Ryloth arc is a really good one. The Malevolence arc is a really good one.
I think I'm between two, and it's hard to pick one.
What are you between?
I'm between Mortis and Umbara.
Oh, Mortis. Oh, mine has to be Umbara. Yeah. Oh, it has to be for me. God, I love the clones so much, and that one was so impactful. Yeah.
This one's a weird one in general, but I loved the box.
Oh, that was good. That was good. I did like the
The
box. Yeah.
box.
So that's
Yeah, so
when
Obi-Wan going
Obi-Wan goes
undercover as a
undercover.
bounty
Yeah.
hunter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The box is good. Dude, I love Umbara though. Like, that's one of the that's a really cool one. If we're excluding Siege of Mandalore, I think I have to say Umbara.
Yeah, I do think Umbara is up there for top arcs by far.
Yeah, Umbara is incredible. I hope Pong Krell. I was talking with somebody in my guild, and they were saying they want Pong Krell added to the game as like a dark side Ufu or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm like, that'd be kind of sick.
They could
It's
maybe
been
even give him a
interesting to
separatist
see what,
tag too.
It's been interesting to see what kind of things are starting to come out in like general Star Wars lately.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you guys know what Star Wars Unlimited is?
Yeah, I actually have a lot of boxes. I've got a box behind me from the new packs that just came out.
Yeah, the local card shop's already out of packs. I would love to buy more, but
Yeah, I pre-ordered
unfortunately
it
I cannot.
online. That was all I could do.
Yeah, I pre-ordered one box, and that's all I have
Yeah.
for set 1 and set 2, basically.
Yep, that's the exact same as me.
But anyways, they added like Pong Krell in set 1. I was like, this is a wildly weird thing to grab, especially considering the set is based around like leading up to episode 4.
Yeah.
And then same with like I recently read a book because I very much like anything Star Wars I consume but comics. So like I read all the books and all that kind of stuff. And so I was listening to a book that was actually quite interesting. It was called Inquisitor, Rise of the Red Blade, or Inquisitorius, Rise of the Red Blade.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like assuming, we'll start with, the end of episode 3. This is going to be interesting. Starts off with, oh, that looks painful.
Yeah, I think I got
Starts off
trapped.
with a Padawan going into the Battle of Geonosis with her master.
Okay.
And like witnessing the massacre of the Jedi during that. And I was like, this is really interesting to like watch the Jedi like deal with PTSD kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting book to be sure. But as I was reading it, like both Pong Krell shows up because she starts using 2 lightsabers. She's looking for people to like ask for help.
Learn from, yeah.
And so she like asks Ahsoka Tano, she asks Pong Krell, and she asks Keller and Beck for help. And like it gives a little bit more info on all 3 of them, which I thought was a little fun thing. And so it's fun to see how much they're like taking these new characters and kind of exploring them a bit here and there.
That's a decent segue into what I was actually trying to bring up, which was a book. So it's a High Republic book. I don't know if you guys have read any of that or not. Have you either of you read any of the High Republic books?
First one.
Okay, that's exactly the one I was going to talk about. I really hope we get some of the Jedi from that book and some of the vehicles and stuff.
I was actually really impressed with how well written that book
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed Light of the Jedi. Very good book.
Yeah, I have yet to go and read the next one.
Yeah, I finished Light of the Jedi, and then what I'm doing now is I'm actually listening back to Light of the Jedi in audiobook form to see if I can... It seems like I'm able to keep my attention relatively on it, and then I'm going to proceed to the next ones. But yeah, I've very much enjoyed the audiobook of Light of the Jedi. It's really good because they actually use a lot of Star Wars music and stuff, which I didn't expect.
Yeah, so all of the newer Star Wars stuff under Disney, all of it has like licensed Star Wars music in it and all kinds of
sounds,
really
sound
fun.
effects, and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's really
The
cool.
fact that we're talking about audiobooks just reminded me that I haven't canceled my Audible subscription, and I don't
You're
know
welcome.
how many months it's been.
Well, then you have a bunch of
Dude,
free books you can claim, right? Isn't that how that works?
The Audible subscription is awful when it comes to like just the one where you just get the like, oh, this is the wait, defeat. How did I lose?
Did you run out of time? Supposed to go to the extract or something?
Yes, maybe.
The extract didn't pop up for me on my screen when I was the last
Yeah.
little while.
Oh, okay.
So
Interesting.
Dude, the Phasma book. Yeah, Ghost. The Phasma book was
I've not read that
wild.
one.
It was,
I need to read that
It's
one.
basically Star Wars except
I'll be right back.
post-apocalyptic. How dare you?
I actually love
essentially-
Spotify for my audiobooks too, because you get tons of them for free if you have Spotify Premium.
Unfortunately, I'm at the point where like there's only like 2 left that are on Spotify that I actually haven't listened to. So like I'm
It's a
running
lot
out
of
quick,
audiobooks,
and
man. But that's good.
And well, I've worked a job where basically I can listen to music all day or listen to
Gotcha.
whatever because I've got no coworkers around or anything,
Right.
and so yeah,
I can listen to music at work, but I don't do books because I need to be able to somewhat focus on what I'm doing. I can kind of tune music out, but I listen to it while I mow. I listen to books while I mow the grass.
Yeah,
so.
see, I just my job up until this week has been filling shelves for
I
Pepsi,
gotcha.
and so it's just mindless labor, and so I'm
Mhm.
like not really doing much.
I see. I got you.
But yeah, so Phasma was really interesting because it was essentially Phasma, the place that she grew up on, was
Mhm.
a planet where it was a mining world
Okay.
that were powered by nuclear generators, and when there was a faulty nuclear generator, instead of the overall mining corporation being like, oh, let's evacuate everyone, get everyone out of here and fix this, they were just like, well, sucks to suck, I guess we'll move on to the next project, and just abandon them there. And so
Unlucky.
Phasma is like a couple
Yeah.
generations later and barely knows how technology works, and they're like
Right.
scavenging for what metal they can find and stuff like
What
that.
did the
It's
first
really
orders
interesting.
eventually show up? Well, don't spoil the book, I guess, but that sounds like an interesting
Yeah.
read. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, especially it made me even more be upset about the fact that Phasma showed up and was an awful character because
Yeah,
she
I
just
absolutely
showed
hate
up
that they
and she was
killed her as
hyped up,
fast
and
as
then
they did. And just didn't
and like
really show her background at all.
they hyped her up in like episode 7's like promotional material, and they're like, you know what, we're just gonna have her get thrown down a garbage chute and call it
Yeah.
good. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I don't quite get. I don't know how they did that so bad in the sequel trilogy with villains. It's like they mishandled all the villains in the sequel trilogy, in my opinion, at least.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
What do you mean?
and
Snoke was handled so well.
yeah, he was
To be
handled in
fair,
2 pieces.
to be fair, I think that's a common problem with Disney.
Yeah,
Um,
I
I
think
think that
yeah.
in the if you look at the Marvel universe, I think it's very rare throughout the Marvel movies that there's actually like a single good villain in those movies.
Thanos.
Exactly my point. Thanos is the one everyone points to because he's the only villain who they actually give his reasoning, and you'd be like, I can see why he would think that. Everyone else is just like generic bad guy number 1 that has
Yeah,
a suit of armor. Just
a lot
like
of the
yours.
Spider-Man villains were good, but that wasn't really Disney.
Yeah, that's all Sony.
Trying to think. Yeah, I guess you're kind of right. Because yeah, Red Skull, not really.
Loki.
Loki's cool. I don't know if I'd really consider him a villain. Almost more of an anti-hero.
When he in his,
I guess at
in
first he
the-
was. Yeah.
Yeah, in his first movie he was a villain, but yes.
Ultron was interesting enough.
Yeah, Ultron was
but
cool.
he was once again just a psychotic killer.
Yeah.
But Ultron, it's because you understand the reasoning.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, Ultron's probably one of the better ones. But yeah, I think that's a reasonable point because like at least with the like even the prequels, like Dooku was a really cool villain. Like I don't think at any point you feel like Dooku.
That's a good point.
Oh yeah, Killmonger's cool. I don't think at any point I'm like Dooku. Dooku never seems like an evil person. He just seems like someone going down a different path.
I don't know when he kills his brother and.
Okay, well that part I didn't know. I'm talking like the
father.
movies and stuff. I didn't know all that about Dooku, but that's fair.
And then basically like usurps his family's money.
I'll see, but no, that's completely okay.
Kills Sifo-Dyas, his best friend, or hires people to have him killed.
Guys, I
make
think
it sound
these are
pretty bad,
just
yeah.
bought from Walmart. Yes, they're bought from Walmart. They are
Great value
Walmart
powdered donuts.
And literally, my buddy is moving out of town today, and he the people that helped him move didn't eat all the donuts, and so he just brought the baker's dozen extra donuts to my house and said goodbye. So. Like it's not like I went and it was like, yes, I went to find the best donuts. It was my buddy gave me 13 donuts while I was on stream.
Free donuts are the best donuts, though, for being honest.
Yeah.
Who is the stormtrooper alive in here that I'm throwing crap at? Must not be one of you guys.
It's not me.
I'm trying so hard not to curse, man.
you guys good to sweat for one game?
Yeah, I'm down. Oh god. Yes, I can do it. I'm so bad at Hero Through Stillness, but I'm down.
As long as you guys carry me, I'll be good.
Yeah, you'll be free up to carry both of us.
Yeah, honestly, Walmart is one of my favorite for the best price for like the quality that you get. Walmart's definitely.
So
up
you
there
don't
when
have
it comes to
Publix in
going.
Alaska, right?
Dude, I share this everywhere I
Well,
go
probably
because
even
this is the
Colorado.
best life hack I have ever found. For anyone that is wanting to eat better, um, Costco chicken nuggets. And anything you eat better, chicken nuggets. What? Dude, they have like some of the best macros and taste like Chick-fil-A nuggets. It's
Yeah.
actually
Are you
crazy.
talking about like the chicken breast nuggets that they have?
Yes.
Things are literally heaven. I literally buy like 4 bags every time.
I
I
have
go to
never had
Costco.
one, so I will have to try that.
I'm doing a prep for like bodybuilding, and it has been a godsend.
Interesting.
Otter.
Okay. I don't have Costco membership, so that's on me.
Well, it's time to get
the
one.
way I look at it is I'm paying for a Costco membership for the simple fact that I can buy a full pizza for $10 and then another one,
Yeah.
and then I can eat those over the course of a week.
Yeah.
Or
So we
2.
we have a Sam's Club membership, so that we do have like a
That
big
bag
box
of-
store membership, but it's not Costco.
That bag of chicken nuggets costs $14 for a massive frozen bag of chicken nuggets that probably is like
I mean, it sounds like a
50 of them at
phenomenal
time.
deal. Yeah.
I eat
Oh, it's
probably
great.
6 meals out of that bag for $14.
Breaking lemurs, I do not play Wordle. I don't know if this is a meme or what, but I have no idea anything about the Wordle. Are you talking about the Star Wars Wordle, or are we talking about the just Wordle
me.
Wordle?
I'll go play my world real quick.
Hmm.
Don't let me
Oh
die.
no, he died. Whoops.
I'll figure it out. Let's see how many attempts I can do this in.
Got a fun little conversation starter for Galaxy of Heroes, just to pick your brains a little bit. What is your most overrated Galaxy of Heroes character?
Overrated Galaxy Heroes character?
And one that everyone's like, oh man, I got to get this character up, or I got to use this character, and you just think is really not that crazy. And I'd give you an example, except I'm also trying to think of one.
Right.
I can tell you one I think that people put too many fast mods on, and that's Mara Jade. And that's a hot take from me. I don't think Mara Jade needs to be that fast.
That is a hot take.
Because she gets 75 speed from Starkiller, and in TW she starts with 100% turn meter. So I think those mods are better served on other characters. I think she still needs to be above 300, 320, but doesn't need to be 360, 350. At least that's where I land on
Oh
it.
yeah, my solid spot is 330.
Yep.
That's where I suggest everyone get to is 330, because 330 guarantees that you'll outspeed any set of troopers except for the ones that they use Wat Tambor.
Right.
And that really can't be.
And you'll
helped.
outspeed
And
most gas teams too.
Yeah, and we'll always ensure that no matter what speed things are happening, you're going to at least get 2 turns for every turn when you're going against a GL kind of thing.
Yeah, but I see most people make their Mars like 350, 360. I'm like, you're 430 functional speed at this point. It's kind of overkill. Give those mods to Rex or Darth Revan or something. What'd you say, sir?
Huh?
I was doing my world, and I came back, and apparently I'm still alive. But
Uh-oh.
Yeah, time to board the shuttle.
You're not gonna be able to get on the shuttle with me camping it, so trust.
that's okay. I'll get on.
Right, Bet?
Okay, well I couldn't get to the shuttle in time. That's my bad.
I still
Okay.
won somehow.
I guess only one person has to make it onto the shuttle. Alright, so heroes versus villains then, yeah?
JMK.
JMK is the most overrated Google character.
Yeah.
I think I can see that. I think he's not that great without Cat. I think people overestimate how good he is without Cat.
For sure.
Yeah, and so many people are like have put things out like AP gains where he like pushed so hard that people get JMK as your first GL.
Yeah, I think that's awful.
And like it was without knowing that Cat was not going to be able to. Be
Are we all
farmed
quitting
anyway,
this lobby? Yeah.
Smart. Yeah, quit. And like overall, people will just be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna push JMK because he's a great character." I'm like, "Dude, do you have Cat?" And it's like, "No, it's gonna be 14 months till I get Cat."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Dude, you're not."
Well, then you're
gonna
getting a
have Cat for
paperweight
14
that can
months."
maybe solo some stuff. Yeah.
Yes. And so, like, I think he's way over.
It's actually really fair.
Yeah.
I was
And he doesn't
So when-
connect to anything but Lord Vader, and I hate Lord Vader.
when JMK first came out, I started to go for him, and then they locked Cat behind Conquest, and I was like, oh, it's fine. I'll get JMK, and I'll still use him without Cat. It'll be fine. And I saw Arnold's testing, and I quit the game. I was gone for about a year and a half, and then came back. Because they locked Cat behind Conquest, and I had already relicked a bunch of the requirements for JMK.
Yeah.
And so I came back and was like, I'm not even going to pick up the JMK farm because I'm still so far from Cat.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think that's definitely a very good take. I think it's a very good take. It's unfortunate because he's so cool and everyone loves Kenobi, but yeah, unfortunately, it's Galactic Legend Cat with Conquest character Kenobi at this point.
Yeah, and I'm like sitting here and I'm like, I have a good, like, all of the characters are 7 stars, right? And then all of I've got probably a good, I'd probably say 1/6 of the characters like at relic levels. And I still am not going for him because it's more important to go for, I went for Jedi Master Luke. I'm gonna get Leia, and
See, I'd argue JMK is better than Rey.
Rey, yes, obviously. Well, unless you have the Lightspeed bundles, in which case you get.
Well, yeah, better in terms of like functional, not in terms of like expense, efficiency.
Yes.
Have you seen the percentage to completion on like hot utils for like different Galactic Legend journeys? I don't
Can't say I have,
you guys
no.
looked at that. So it has a percentage. It just looks at your account, looks at your
Oh,
requirements,
I
and
see
tells
what you
you
mean.
like
Yeah.
what percentage you are to each.
See, I
thing.
have
It's
everything,
basically
so I
help
don't
you-
look at that too often.
Yeah, it helps you decide. Like, hey, I'm kind of like in between. I don't know. Let's say you're in between Leia and Luke, Jedi Master Luke. And you're like, well, which one am I technically closer to? Like, which one do I want to go for? And I'm like, it says I'm like 80% to the way to like 5 different things.
Right.
Right
My
now,
favorite thing to look at is at the bottom of Hot Utils. There's the integration with SWG events gear, and it'll show you like the Kyrotech and the single. I'd use that every single day just about because I like keep the gear hoarded for. I have all the gear ready for Jar Jar for when I unlock him in a couple weeks, but I want to gear other stuff. Like for example, I got Beaver to do a roster review a while back. And like he saw that I had a gear 12 DTMG and was like, yeah, that's and I was working on it. But I couldn't like give him the gear yet because I was waiting on Jar Jar. So it was painful to be like, yes, I want to relic this character right now and I could hit the upgrade button, but I'm waiting till I have enough gear to do him and Jar Jar. But yeah, so I use that to do all of my gear planning because it's so hard to like relic characters when you're trying to hoard 600 Kairos for somebody else. It's hard to know exactly what you're missing.
100%. I was doing that when I was getting close to unlocking. I did Rey and SOKR slow. I did Refresh, the Finalizer, or Radis, which is not what I would recommend to people. But I did it slow as I unlocked them in the same week.
Wow, that's painful.
And so I was trying to make sure I had all the gear hoarded for both of them.
Yeah, and that's a big thing that I see people make that mistake is like once you're, especially as you get done like towards your, once you start ticket farming, if you're not getting the gear for that Galactic Legend, what are you doing? I hate seeing people unlock a GL and then be like gear 8, and it's like, what were you doing the whole time you were ticket farming?
I mean, I can understand if like it gets to gear 12 and like you're missing one last.
Yeah,
or
right.
Whatever. But like, yeah, you should
We
be
had
able
a
to take
guy
that thing.
who got JMK, and then it took him like 7 months to get his ultimate.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah, I'm struggling with that right now.
My alt account's doing Lord Vader ult right now.
I need dark side tickets, but I really need light side Kairos. So I'm just like having to farm dark side Kairos even though I don't really need them.
Right.
I mean, obviously I will need them, but
yeah, what I wind up
Isn't
having
it, like,
to do
2 to
is
1 for light side to dark side.
sorry, what?
Isn't it 2 to 1 for like light side to dark side for like how many you need overall for all characters?
Yeah, I think so.
It's something like that. Plus, the light side's better to farm anyway for the bronzy wiring stuff. So it's always fun to be able to just farm light side Cairo and buy the dark side with your get and your GAC currency and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm getting tossed around like a ragdoll right now.
We need to squad up. We're way too separated.
Yeah, who should I even be playing? I'm playing Boba right now. And that might not be the move. Alright, I'm coming to the middle. Yeah, I'm gonna need to play a Jedi because I'm getting bodied. Or a Sith, rather. Or an unaligned Force user.
I don't know. I am playing terribly.
I am barely alive.
I do not know
I'm
any
much
of the
better at
heroes,
light side than I am
unfortunately.
dark side.
I have literally never played a hero, basically. So
Yeah, same. I've played one very handful of times.
I just picked Vader and figured, oh, Vader's good.
If I can get Han, I meme on people with Han.
Yeah, I am. That is one of the few I actually remember using is Han.
Why does Vader fly, by the way?
All the heroes have like a sort of hovery space jump. But yeah, Han I'm very good with because it just goes back to my Counter-Strike background, just being able to tap heads.
Fair.
What do you guys think of the new marquee structure? You guys enjoying that? That's something
Yeah, I
I've
love
really enjoyed.
I love it. Big fan.
I wish I didn't have to play it every day. I wish it was just like a stacking counter, like you can do it. I wish it was incremental. Like the first day you can do it once, the second day you would be able to do it twice if you didn't do it the first time. Hate if you miss a day, it'd be an issue, but it's not that big of a deal. I'm not dying on that hill or anything, but I love like giving me an incentive to level 85, maybe gear 6 these characters, maybe toss them some mods and actually play with them a little bit instead of just, well, they're 3 stars, I'm done, not touching them. Plus, free stuff. Ish. Free in quotation marks, but...
I mean, very little investment.
Yeah, right.
Especially for like my free-to-play account. I mean, I'm taking most of them to just like level 60 or so, and then throwing some mods on them, and that's enough to clear most.
Dang, both
gear
of them are almost dead.
Well, when I was saying like the free stuff, I was talking about the shards. So like if you're buying 1 or 2 packs for crystals, so it's not free, but you get a ton of shards and Kyrotech for 2,000 crystals.
Win a character for $100 less, I do appreciate, you know.
100%.
Yeah, that's also great. Yeah, I can't say I've ever day one a character. We actually did a really just like fun war moment story from my guild. It was when Mando came out. We had this guy that's like whole persona was Mando, and we crowdfunded him to whale the character 7 stars. So that was really cool. Everybody in the guild pitched in so he could get a 7-star bounty hunter Mando when he came out. So that was really cool. But I have never personally whaled a character straight to 7.
I did for failing so I could get Jar Jar day 1.
Fair enough. I'm getting Jar Jar next time. But yeah, I could not.
Dang. I keep
not
getting
just
these guys
throw that.
down to like 1 tap, but there's like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we apologize. Matt and I are not particularly good at this part of the game. At least I'm not. I shouldn't speak for Matt, but I'm getting bodied.
I'm so good at this, dude. I have never played this character in my life, but I'm doing so good.
I'm just gonna play Grievous. I can just Merciless Massacre my way to not Merciless Massacre, Middleweight Monstrosity my way to victory. It's a little funny how most of the abilities are like the same animations, though.
Okay, I got Lando.
Should I be blocking? Or am I just spamming left click? Oh no.
If you can block just right, you can block, and then you tap attack, and you can parry back.
Oh, that's yeah, so you can parry.
that.
Okay.
Oh.
No wonder I'm getting
But
absolutely
I'm
pounded.
not good at it at all. I'm just good at using my abilities typically, but
Call.
These guys have like purple cards, which I think you have to whale for.
No. You know, it's just playing the character a bunch and leveling them up.
We need to whale harder, guys.
True, honestly.
agreed. Whale harder.
Everybody, get the credit cards out. This is an EA game. This is how you win.
Hey, everybody, poll in the chat. What was the name of your
the most
first pet? Don't
What
answer
was
that.
your mother's maiden name?
Dude, I thought about as like a bit for. I mean, how many people fill out a Google form that like want to join my new guild that I'm starting? And I thought as a bit putting in there like, what's your mother's maiden name? What are the last 3 numbers in the back of your credit card?
Oh dear.
But I don't want people to accidentally put have real information in there and then somebody like steal it.
Right, yeah. One thing I've seen that's been really cool with the guild, like just you brought up guilds, mate, the guild gifting. I thought it was such a dumb feature at first. I've actually seen some guilds do like giveaways and stuff. Like a couple of the
Yeah, my guild does
officers will
that.
like do things like that. I'm like, that's kind of cool. Like I know someone did a March Madness like thing. They did like a March Madness thing for the guild, and they gave them like a $20 crystal pack or something like that. It's like that's kind of cool, I guess. It's like of all the features the game needs, gifting was not on my list, but I was like, I guess that's neat.
We do a few Lightspeed bundles every time those come around.
Okay,
I
yeah,
think
that's
ally
also
code
fair.
gifting should be a thing.
100%.
Yeah, probably.
Unless,
Probably.
well, yeah, no, you can't refund it or anything. So
Be really
you decline a
entertaining to-
gift?
Like if they, I think you can let it expire, but I don't know.
Because
I
now I
don't know,
wonder,
I've
like,
already seen
imagine you've got people on Reddit like, oh, I'm a proud free to play and I'm 12 mil, and then somebody gets their ally code out of their Reddit account and then just sends them a Lightspeed bundle. It's like, hey, you're not free to play anymore.
Sucks to suck.
yeah, I've actually people have threatened to do that with my free to play account because I was talking about how we kick out people that pay money, and
That's funny.
they're like, I'm gonna join the guild and then just buy something for you.
I think there is a cooldown, right? Or is there not a cooldown for when you give someone something?
I don't think so because I think
I'm pretty sure if you join and they try to gift you, there's a cooldown. But if you join and try to gift them, there's not a cooldown.
So you can be
I don't think
Santa,
so.
but they can't be Santa. I don't know.
Yeah.
because I think Nooch does it by just having people join on a random.
I
guild
think
that
you're
you
right,
have
yeah.
involved.
So maybe it's the other way around, if there is one. But there may not be one. It may be fine.
I love this map, Appley. Why do you hate this map? I think Balin will probably come out like probably September, October.
This is a great group for me to ask this question. I want to see if I'm crazy or if everybody else is crazy. The forum post when they announced the GL Ahsoka requirements, they specified the Night Trooper and Death Trooper would be needed for Ahsoka. They did not specify Enoch would be needed for Ahsoka. Am I the only one that thinks he's needed for Balin instead of Ahsoka, or is that
No, that's correct. I think.
okay? I watched Arnold's video and he was saying that Enoch was needed for Ahsoka, and I was like, that's not what I heard.
Wait, actually, no. I think it was Night Trooper and Enoch are going to be required.
No, it's Death.
Oh,
It's Death and Night. And they just told us Death is required too. We just got that Friday.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But they listed Night and Death as required at Relic 7 for Ahsoka in that post. And then they didn't say anything else about Enoch, other than just we were getting him. So I still think we have one Darkseid character outstanding that we haven't heard yet. But I know Arnold said we had all the Darkseid characters given. So I wasn't sure if I was misreading that or if that was maybe a bit fuzzy.
Okay, here we go. You probably you just need to unlock her. We've got covered with a few of them, and it starts with Imperial Remnant Squad. More required characters will be announced. Yeah, no. Captain Enoch is under the section that say is required.
He's not.
He is. Like
Oh.
they're like, yeah, we've got a couple of the requirements for you right here, and then they list the 3.
They check again because maybe I'm just misremembering.
I don't know. The way they phrased all that stuff seemed really weird on those posts.
Was that in the road ahead?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, it's in the road ahead.
So if you read up above it in the direct quote from the lead designer, that's what I was mainly looking at. They said, through design, their streaks will live within Captain Enoch's and Dead mechanic, which we'll go into a later date. In addition to Night Trooper and Death Trooper helping out the Imperial Remnant Squad, they will be required for the new Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano. So they're in the Imperial Remnant section, but the lead engineer only specified Night Trooper and Death Trooper as being required for Ahsoka, and that's just a little above that.
Get out of here.
So yeah. Anyway, that's kind of what I mean. It seems like it could go either way to me, because they keep all the Imperial Remnant bundled in that section, but then the lead engineer only specified those two. So I don't.
I mean, considering in that paragraph right beforehand, they're like, "Hey, here's a couple of the requirements for Ahsoka
Right.
Tano."
And yeah, it could have just been the guy was only talking about those two and just didn't specifically mention Enoch. You know, it's like it could be as simple as he just didn't mention it. But anyway, yeah. So, but I'm excited for that. Are either of you, Beaver? Are you planning to whale Ahsoka? Have you been pushing that?
Yeah, I have everything I need to bring Night Trooper up to Relic level immediately. I have Gas at Relic 8 now.
Yeah.
So Katana's at Relic 7 currently.
Okay.
I just finished what's her bucket? Ventress.
I actually had Ventress done already, so I was happy about that one. Because I'm a big Night Sister guy.
I will not be.
That's fair. Yeah, you are, and you're
No
you're
way.
smaller. too,
Destroyed
yeah.
by these guys. It's too many for me to take down.
I'm
yeah,
curious if they will. I hope they don't. Surely they wouldn't require Balin for Ahsoka, right?
I think so.
No. So here's my thoughts. Y'all ready for this?
I am.
Because
Lay it on
I am
me.
the all-knowing beaver.
Build that dam. Let's go.
Oh yeah. So here's the thing. We have a character that's directly tied to Ahsoka Tano's overall journey in the Star Wars universe, and that character is Mommy Mandalore.
Mhm.
And she came out, quite a few months ago.
And her events
Now we're
ran a
getting
lot.
Balin Skull coming, and he's a direct tie-in with Thrawn, who might be our next GL. So we got a epic confrontation for Ahsoka Tano with Mommy Mandalore, and then next year we'll have Balin Skull be the one for Thrawn.
I think that's a
Okay.
very reasonable take.
That's a good theory.
Yeah, I think it's a very reasonable take. I hope it's not bow needed, but I think that's a
That's just a
very
theory.
reasonable take.
A beaver theory. Thanks for watching.
R.I.P. Matt Pat. Just because he retired, he's not dead.
I
just
mean,
to be
I'll
clear.
pat Matt.
But yeah, I'm excited for it. But yeah, I do hope they don't require Bale. I hope they don't require Ezra either, even though I'll be getting him. But I hope they don't require him. I hope he's just really good with her, if he's even in her squad. I assume he will, though.
RoboMelon, thank you for the gifted membership, my friend. Let me add. Someone gifted me before I could get my own, so here you go. Fair enough, dude. I appreciate it. Let me.
Yeah, I got
add
gifted
that
a
to
membership
the
like
overall
5 minutes
timer.
into the stream.
What the heck? Nobody gifted me a membership.
Gotta be in the chat longer. Come on, man.
Dang it.
Do you guys think Ahsoka GL will get a Jedi tag or an online Force user tag?
Online Force user.
That as well.
So I'm calling it right now. Balin Skull's gonna come in to take over the dark side unaligned Force users, kind of like how Maul
Yeah.
takes over the dark side Mandalorians, and then Ahsoka will take the light side.
Yep, I
Yeah,
think that's pretty reasonable.
Yep.
Do you think we'll get a new Sabine? I hope we do. But do you think we will?
Dude, I would love Goth Mommy Sabine. I'd take that in a heartbeat.
I think that's why they reverted the change on the other Sabine.
Oh, did they revert the visual changes?
Well, now she looks just like weird.
Gotcha. Okay. I didn't notice that, so that's yeah. I hope we do. I don't think we'll get a new who am I thinking?
I just can't stop getting yeeted.
Yeah, this map is a little questionable. I keep getting pushed off the map. And then Boba's absolutely kiting me. He actually just meleeed me. New Republic tag will come.
I thought about that
suppose.
one, but
I don't
I
think
don't
she
know, I
would
don't
be the
think he has
character to
preference
bring it,
for it.
but
No, I definitely
yeah.
don't think so.
yeah, because she seems like she
you're
seems
right,
tangential to the New
originally, but-
Republic, right?
yeah.
Because like
I
she's
see
having
what
to
I
fight
said
against the
originally,
Senate the
but-
whole time.
How about Huyang? When's Huyang coming?
I thought we would have got him announced if we were going to get him. To be honest, I hope we do though.
Yeah,
I don't think we're gonna get him.
I don't think we're gonna get him.
I don't
he
think
hasn't
we
been
are.
announced or anything. I think the only other requirement is a ship, right?
Yeah, but I really think that's just Ahsoka's ship. I mean, they could be doing something dirty and just making it look like her ship and not doing that, but
Well, there is
It just-
all the leaks of the Galactic Chase bundle and stuff like that.
yeah, but that could be a ship for Balin. It could be anything else too.
What ship is it gonna be if it's not Ahsoka's Starfighter?
Well, they could just be using that little image as like a placeholder, and they could bring the ship Ahsoka flies. But then who
Yeah,
would
you
they
want
do
to
the
make a
pilot?
GL
You know?
pilot?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they'd have to do like Fulcrum as the pilot, which wouldn't make any sense. Which, by the way, calling it now R9 Fulcrum. It's gonna be R9 Fulcrum. for the
Another
next-
R9?
Yeah, it'll be the two versions of Ahsoka that are not Cat R9 for requirements.
Oh, I think Cat might be required.
I think she might be, but I don't think she'll be R9 because so many people already have an R9 Cat that they don't make any money off that.
I don't think they'll require Cat because they want people to whale on their new stuff, and no
Right.
one whales on Leviathan because they can't.
Right,
And
that's
they
also
get
fair.
locked
Yeah.
behind conquest characters, so I don't think they can actually.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I think Ezra might not be required because it's kind of tough. Like if you're a 2 million GP player, you can't even whale on her. Even if you spent $100,000, you couldn't get her if he was a conquest character required for her.
Yeah.
So I think they do want to keep that door open to where you can whale if you want to. If you want to give them copious
Yeah.
amounts of money.
Mike, I definitely think Balin's going to be a big PP for a lot of people. I think
Boys.
they nailed it on the head for a good PP.
I hate to do it, but I do have to go.
Fair enough,
Oh.
dude. Yeah, I gotta take my dog out anyway soon.
The baby needs to be put to bed and dinner needs to be cooked. So
All right, man.
I appreciated the time. Everybody, gift more subs. Subscribe to Rabid Beaver. Make sure to follow on Twitch. Let's get this guy streaming for like 48
4
more
days,
hours,
yeah.
or for 48 more years.
Let's get the full thing total.
Straight.
Yeah.
I want Beaver's last moments to be captured on stream at a long and happy life when he reaches 102, and I want all of it for the subathon. So, there you go. There's
Dude, I
my
can't
plug.
even imagine. I'd like have to start ordering things off Amazon to like add on to my setup, so that way I could like take my stream on the go more easily.
Yeah.
and
Your
stuff.
computer would probably actually just catch fire, though, to be honest. Yeah.
Highest Dono gets to officiate his wedding when he eventually gets married on stream.
Who needs to get married? If we have Galaxy of Heroes. Actually, by then it will be it'll be whatever the next iteration of Galaxy of Heroes is. It'll be obviously Lord of the Rings: Heroes of Middle Earth because that game did so well. I'm still so sad about that, but
Heroes of Middle Earth 2.
yeah, yeah, that game deserves a sequel for sure.
Yoder has to be the best man.
I can
Yoder
back
will
that. I can back
officiate.
that.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Yoder would officiate if you're basing it off of that.
Well, take care, boys.
See you, Matt.
Yeah, it was great to have you guys.
Yeah, I can hop out as well, or I can stay. Up to you. I have nothing better to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop into making dinner on stream and taking my dog on a walk real quick. So,
Awesome. Well, it's been great to be
we'll
here.
call it
Thanks
here.
for having me. Apologize for
Hope
the
you guys
sound
have more time
issues.
on the next
Wish my mic
episode.
was louder.
How dare you?
Yeah.
No, you're good, dude.
And now you don't have to worry about any more curse words being dropped on stream.
Perfect.
All right. See you, Beaver.
Uh,
See you, the dam. See y'all.
Have a great day, dude.
All right. That will be it for me today. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Please make sure to go support his subathon. Go sub. Go at least follow it and sub on YouTube. Don't cost you anything. It will still add time to subathon and check him out. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and I'll see you next time. See you tomorrow.